Hello, and welcome. Pull up a chair and join us in the alcove, a brand new Twitch channel. We're here, guys. We made it.
We did it.
The channel focused on tabletop gaming and role-playing content. My name is Rafay. I'm the dungeon master for this, our homebrewed 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons campaign, known as the Chaoslands. Before we get started, let's go around the table, have each of our players introduce themselves, just your name or anything interesting you want to say. You can introduce the characters you're playing as we encounter them. We'll start here at the far end. I don't actually know where this is on the screen.
Hey, I'm Lavin.
That's it. He's
I like it.
You put me on the spot.
Go on. I'm Alyssa, and I am freaking out. Derek.
Well, you just introduced.
That's
Sorry.
my name. Hi, I am
Steal his
Derek,
thunder.
and I sit in this spot.
Hello, everybody. I am Mike. I'm very excited to be starting this finally. And Raph, what's your name?
Hey everyone, I'm Raphael. I go by Raph to everybody here, so excited to get started.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Cool. So a handful of announcements here before we begin. This will only happen this once, so it's going to be a lot of them. But just want to run through some things here. We'll be going live with this campaign every Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That's now. VODs will be available immediately on Twitch and go up on YouTube by Friday.
Yep. Friday.
Yep. Some nebulous time on Friday. We're also on social media. You can find all of those links somewhere down below or up
Below the
above,
video.
Yeah.
somewhere.
The little banners at the bottom will have all the links. So.
Yep. You can go there, give us a follow, and stay up to date on any news, announcements, any of that stuff. A very special shout out to Syrinscape.
Syrinscape.
Makers
Yay.
of great music and immersive sound sets for all of your tabletop needs. I spent a lot of time evaluating different audio options for our games, and honestly, the ease of use plus the huge collection makes it a no-brainer. And keep on doing the good work, Syrinscape. Again, more announcements. I want to take a moment to mention that we are first and foremost a group of friends who just wanted to play D&D every week. Thought it would be fun, and it would keep our scheduling accountable. We are not professional actors, producers, streamers, audio techs, or pretty much any role that is well suited for what we're doing. So in spite of our best effort and how polished some things may look when they're running well, there might be some technical difficulties. Please bear with us. We'll do our best to understand them, address them, and move forward. In a similar vein, D&D is a very complicated game. And as hard as we might try, we are bound to get some rules wrong. I apologize in advance, being Canadian, I have to. But would like to remind everyone that the only rule that matters is that everyone at the table has fun. We will do our best to address any mistakes that lead to us not having fun. But other than that, if everyone at the table is having a good time and on the same page, we will move on and treat it as water under the bridge. We have also discussed and implemented safety tools such as an X card, lines and veils, etc., so on and so forth. So rest assured that we are all comfortable, and we will make any changes to make sure that we all remain comfortable. On that note, we are playing mostly by the books D&D 5th edition, with a handful of homebrew rules that will not come into play anytime soon. All races, backgrounds, and character options that are on D&D Beyond at any given time are available to players.
Come on, Mike. We're getting shut down already.
So anything goes for the players to pick from in terms of character options, feats, whether that's Eberron, Forgotten Realms, Wildmount, or even the latest book, Fizban's Treasury of Dragons, which just came out yesterday.
Because dragons.
There are no dragons. Just ignore dragons. Also, one final thing. I would like to give a shout out to all the other role-playing shows that exist and have come before us.
Absolutely.
I know that we would not be here doing this
Yeah.
if this was not if it wasn't for the likes of Critical Role, Dimension 20, Hyper RPG, Realm Smith, the Black Dice Society, Friends at the Table, and so on and so forth. All the countless amazing storytellers and creators in this space. We will do our best to try to create our own identity, but you may still notice references and nods to others out of reverence to love and fandom. We would like to make it clear that we are not affiliated with any other channel or production, but that we stand on the shoulders of giants who paved the way for us, inspired us, and continue to shape the way that we tell our stories.
Look at that. You good?
That's all the disclaimers. Now for the other monologue to begin.
Take a break. Yeah. That was very good. Very good. You got it all out.
That is one whole page done. Also, my sock is notifying me, which I changed. But anyway.
Yeah. Then I got the Wormwood one as well today.
Our story is set on a world like any other. A small blue dot in a vast expanse of void, surrounded by distant stars, asteroids, nebulas, and even distant other worlds. Just like ours, but not the same. On this world, rising out of the crystal salve ocean, there exists a massive continent named Rivenacht. Many eons ago, the denizens of this land were ruled over by the Five, ancient chromatic dragon lords, their servants, and their kin. The dragons oppressed and enslaved the populace of this land for an eternity, and the life and death of mortal races was purely at their whim. Until one fateful day known as the Vanishing. On this day, the dragons, their armies, their kin, their servants, their eggs, every single last trace of them, suddenly and mysteriously disappeared. As the mortal races awoke, they found themselves in dragon lairs and fortresses left abandoned and eerily empty. Their forges cold and mines abandoned, thrones vacant. The people emerged from the caves and the shadows where they had been enslaved into the light of the sun, and on this day, the day of emergence, they stood underneath the light of the sun god Solnavi, the fiery embrace, beginning their lives anew. Many small settlements formed, scattered across the continent, and the mortal races began to build homes and communities, with hope and optimism in their hearts. However, they soon discovered that the land they had emerged into was no idyllic paradise. They found instead a land torn asunder by uncountable years of draconic rule and chaotic energy. Over the millennia, much of the continent had transformed into lands inhospitable and dangerous, the soil depleted and unfertile, and even areas deeply strange and foreboding with terrors in the darkness. In spite of the dangerous lands and the hard life, though, there were vast lands where civilization could potentially survive. This was what the people thought for a few months, until they discovered and began circulating word of the terrifying phenomenon known as the lightning rifts. With barely a few hours of notice, thick black clouds could form overhead almost anywhere across the entire continent, completely unbidden and unpredictable. Once formed, these clouds would rain down terrifying cracks of red lightning, causing immense destruction. Not only would nothing that was caught in such a storm remain standing, but also those foolish enough to be caught in or near the storm would report unbelievable changes to the very laws of physics, such as gravity, space, and time, as reality itself appeared to bend and break within the localized area of these rifts. Many of the settlements the people established were quickly overwhelmed and collapsed, supply lines unable to establish and crops unable to grow. This led to groups of refugees coming together and trying to seek refuge in places that protected them from these storms. These places, these cities, some of which got lucky. They found relative safety, untouched by the storms due to some strange twist of fate or blessing of the gods. As many others collapsed, their denizens would swarm to the ones that remained, and these Rexates, as they began to be called, formed city-states upon this continent with nebulous borders and their territories disputed. Even still, these Rexates require constant vigilance from their denizens as their number continues to dwindle. What was once 13 large cities has now fallen to only 7, each with their own identity, means of survival, economy, politics, triumphs, and failures. Some of these Rexates use arcane means and barriers, laced with powerful enchantments to survive. Others rely on blessings of deities. And yet others rely on good old-fashioned ingenuity and cleverness to avoid the storms and harness the land to cultivate life. Yet outside the safety of these Rexates, the rest of Rivenacht remains a land of danger, desolation, and despair. While the mortal races cling to hopes of enterprise and freedom and survival, the land continues to fall further and further away from anything resembling habitation. This crumbling wilderness, known as the Chaoslands, serves as the backdrop of our adventurer's story, and is where we begin today's session. It is late afternoon. As the sun sets behind a tall, jagged cliff face of red rocks, dotted with dried shrubs and tree branches, we see a small group of travelers making their way across an arid savanna of dried yellowish-brown grass. We see 2 wagons made of iron bars and wheels, carrying crates, boxes, and barrels, pulled by 2 mountain goats. Their fur sheared, they look strangely light and undersized, but are pulling the hefty carts with ease. Traveling at the head of the convoy, we see a broad-shouldered dwarven woman wearing heavy plate armor. On her back, in a sling-style holster, is a hefty 2-handed maul with a large hammerhead of black stone. Behind her is another dwarf. Raph, can you describe what you see?
Yeah.
God, it's starting.
Oh man, first one. So you would see a 5 feet tall dwarf, burly, muscular, very well defined arms type of guy, wearing a suit of chainmail that is very well made, like not fancy in any way, but very well crafted. Wearing a pair of gauntlets that have dwarvish runes around the trim. He looks fairly young. He has a long beard that has 3 parts to it, 2 braids and a big part in the center, all kind of held together at the end by a steel ring. He's bald, but the beard is black, but with some streaks of white. He has a little bit of experience to him, and he carries a massive warhammer in one of his hands. A simple weapon as well, but if you look closely, you see that there's some fine crafting around it, also adorned with a bunch of dwarvish runes, especially around the straps that hold the stone head of the warhammer. And on his back, he carries a round shield, carrying that has on it the essentially a coat of arms that has a single tall peak and a couple of cross hammers. And he also carries a strange artifact on his back. You essentially see a long wooden artifact that's a bit strange to these lands.
Flanking the 2 carts behind these 2 armed dwarves are a handful of unarmed travelers, a half-elf, a dwarf, a human, and a gnome, each of them wearing relatively modest traveler's garbs, although one of the dwarf, female, is dressed a little bit more finely than the rest. However, it is the two other travelers that are walking alongside this cart that catch your attention immediately a little bit more, just because of their appearance, their mannerisms, and just a certain je ne sais quoi.
What are you trying to say, Rafe?
Alyssa, would you like to describe what your character looks like?
Sure. So if I'm walking next to the caravan, Astra's actually going to be skipping. She has ombre hair that's in a kind of loose braid to her left. It starts kind of like a light blue or white and becomes darker blue towards the end. Should probably mention she is a tiefling, so she has lilac skin with darker purple freckles on her face. She also has these big round glasses that make her eyes look bigger. Yeah, and then she has some horns on her head that kind of point backwards. They're fairly dainty on her. They're not super overpowering, I guess. And then clothing-wise, she has a dark blue cloak, and then under the cloak she has high-waisted leather pants with suspenders, and then a kind of a white, not ruffly top, but just kind of an a white ruffly top.
And Derek.
All right. So my character, Calthier, he is an elf. He is
extremely pale, basically white skin. He is bald. He has completely black eyes, which can be a little off-putting. He's wearing pretty fine-looking clothes. He's got like pretty fine leathers and like some scale mail. He's got like this kind of silver filigree kind of stitched in a lot of it. He's wearing a cloak, a pretty dark one. One kind of goes over his shoulder. In his other hand, he's kind of holding it and kind of using it what would look like a staff, but it looks more like a thin glaive weapon. He's just kind of holding it and using it like a staff. Like a lot of purple and dark blues, blacks, and then like these fine silvers kind of like stitched in all along the way.
For the past half a dozen days, since your chance encounter upon the edges of the towering wilderness, far to the southeast, you have been traveling together with the caravan towards its destination, that you now see in front of you, barely an hour away. You see a large city, massive, larger than any settlement that any of you has ever seen. You see a dense skyline of buildings, bordered on the west by the cliffside itself. The majority of the city sits in the shadow of this cliff, with the sun now far to the west. But you still see strange dots and beads of flickering light emanating from the windows and the streets of the city. The buildings appear to be built of mostly red bricks and stone, but the eastern edge, where the sun still strikes, you notice various glints of metal objects, whether they're decorations, ornaments, or serve some functional purpose. It's hard for you to tell. What is easy to tell, however, is the 7 tall spires that you see scattered around the city. Towering structures of stone and metal, they dwarf even the rest of the city around, bony fingers grasping for the sky. 6 of them, that seem scattered around the city, seem to be about 200 or 300 feet tall. Even from this distance, you can make out what look like thick rope or cabling that connects these 6 smaller spires to an absolutely massive central spire. That central spire must be nearly twice as tall as each of these structures, and these cables that connect to it only go to about the halfway mark. The sight is unnatural and almost unnerving, but also a bit of a relief. It signals the end to your long journey that you've taken, some of you, for even longer than the time that you have been together. In the distance, on what must be the opposite side of the city, though, you see a dense black cloud hanging in the sky, ominous and foreboding. Is there anything that you all would like to do as you are making your way towards the city? You're about roughly an hour away from the limits. What are you guys doing? What are you feeling there?
Diamond, is this where you're from?
No, never been to these lands.
Oh, then why are you traveling here?
Well, I'm looking for some information. Looking for my sister.
Your sister?
Aye.
Why is she here?
I don't know where my sister is.
Oh,
Just, I heard that there's people in the city that may know more about the circumstances that she disappeared. So, I don't know. It's good to be here. It's been a long journey.
it's a very impressive looking city. Very tall.
How big is the place where you're from?
I'm not really from anywhere. So this is definitely the tallest.
It's weird.
Astra, have you been here before?
I've never been anywhere before. This is my first time being here or anywhere.
Are you also from nowhere?
I'm not from nowhere. I am from somewhere.
Where?
North?
Does North have a name?
I don't know. There was a tower, and then I left the tower, and then I was here. So I was at the tower, and then I was here.
Were you alone at the tower?
No. No, I was always with Hoku. But he's back at the tower. So he's just kind of holding down the fort. But I kind of wish he came along now.
I thought that was the name of your wand.
No, I told you. You said that last time, the other day. It's not my wand. I don't have a name for my wand. I should have a name for my wand.
The best weapons have names.
How about... I don't know. It kind of looks like a Cynthia.
It's an interesting name choice.
It's powerful, right? Cynthia?
Sure.
Cynthia. You said there was a cloud that we can see?
Yes.
Hey, Dipdorf?
His name is Nipna.
I'm pretty sure it's Dipdorf. Dipdorf?
Nobody responds.
Cloud!
Kirana, the leader of the caravan, is up ahead, notices you shouting, "It's alright, it's alright. It's the city. The city's safe."
What?
How can you be sure? Last time you were very startled when we saw one of those.
Yeah, because we weren't near the city. The city's safe.
Does the city have more of those devices?
I don't know. Maybe?
Nipna?
The little gnome, like, who's busy kind of looking at his book and kind of just reading something as the lock turns to you. Yes?
The device you have, is there more of them here? Is this where it was made?
Yeah, this is where it was made. A friend of mine made it.
I'd like to speak to your friend when we get in there.
Ah, yeah. I'm sure I can tell you where to find him.
Is he the lad that you mentioned? The one I can find more information from?
He'd be a good place to start.
What's his name?
He goes by the name Sparkeye.
Sparkeye.
Yeah.
Do you think
Interesting.
he
Old
can-
Sparkeye. He's famous in this city here. He's been a really talented craftsman, artificer. He was chief engineer back in his day.
Chief engineer, what does that mean?
It's what they call the leader of the city.
Ah. He must be quite impressive.
He was back in his day.
Is he older now?
Quite.
Hopefully he remembers how to make it.
Hopefully. I don't... you don't understand how this stuff works, do you? He didn't make it himself. He worked with a team. There were a lot of people.
Do you have all their names?
No. It was well before my time.
Maybe he'll remember.
But yeah, that cloud over there in the distance, that's always there. It's somewhere around here. And it kind of like forms a ring around in the air in front of you.
Are we in the safe area already, or?
Well, it looks like it's on the other side of the city. If it wasn't, we would probably just camp out farther back from the city until it's cleared. But yeah, there's always a storm or two going around the city, just outside the Rifton Ring. That's
Okay.
that, and he points out in front of you, and you can see now as you continue to walk and make your way closer to the city. You see what looks like a small fence. It goes up to barely like 6 feet tall. It's just like tall poles that are stuck out of the ground, and there's like thin, what seems like wire connecting at the top of the poles and the middle of the poles. And it just spans all around from the cliff face to essentially far off to the east, and you can see it like turn around the edge of the city.
Shall we pick up the pace a bit? I'm a little startled by seeing these clouds around.
Yeah, it should be fine. We should make it to the gate. And you can see up ahead in the middle, there's two of these poles that don't have wires connecting them. And past them to the left, there's a small structure that's kind of standing there. And as you start to approach, you can see that there's a couple of horses tied to like a hitching post near there, and two armed guards who are just standing around. There doesn't seem to be anything happening. It seems like a pretty dead-end job, to be perfectly honest. You haven't seen any other travelers along the way. You haven't seen any other caravans. You haven't seen pretty much anything. Actually, no, I lied. You did see something. About 2 days ago, when you were just at the base of these mountains, you saw a small boat that had been pulled up the shore and left there. So there was some sign of travelers. Roughly about 2 or 3 days ago.
Well, that and the 2 people we found along the way.
Who are those?
They sound really cool.
What did you call this?
Sorry about us.
What did you call this fence?
It's called the Rifton Ring.
The Rifton Ring. Is it meant to keep people out? It's very sparse.
It's more just a marker. It marks the part of the city that's safe. Everything on the other side of the city is safe. We should try and hurry up and get to the other side of this thing.
Walk and talk. Walk and talk. Does the ring itself protect from the clans?
Who knows? I don't make this sort of stuff. I'm more just an operator. I know how to use it.
I apologize for all my questions.
That's alright. You
being
did
a
save my
little
life, so I owe
annoying.
you guys some answers, but you can see that he's still kind of like got like strangulation marks around his neck that he's like pulling up his collar as he gets reminded of what he went through a few days ago. Answer my questions.
His character turned dark.
As you approach the gate, there's these 2 guards that come out. They introduce themselves. They start having a chat with Karana. We will instead cut over to, at the same time, across the city. We see a large. We see a much more fancier part of town. The grass here is green. There are trees. There are large stone houses, estates. Just overall a very well-to-do part of the city. You also see off in the distance the large central spire that we had seen in our previous adventures traveling towards, but much closer. It seems that we're almost near the base of the spire. Just a few, probably 5 or 10 minutes worth of walking away. And we see a house. This large estate with a wrought iron gate that swung open. 2 gargoyles that are standing flanking on either side. We see at the doorway here of this house, there's 2 guards again. Similar sort of rusted old iron armor that seems to be in pretty bad condition, disrepair. Their helmets are dented. They seem not the most well kept. And they're talking to somebody in this doorway as 2 other figures approach. With the smaller of these 2 figures, like to describe them.
Yep. So I am a tiefling. I guess starting from the bottom, we'll go up here, but he's wearing these laced up pair of boots, loose black kind of leather pants. Chest, you'll see, just has his nice kind of leather armor, and over that, it's just a trench coat, brown trench coat. Once you get to his head, you can see that his skin is just this vivid red, and he's wearing a pair of small circular spectacles in front of his really black eyes, and once you get to his head, you notice that he has a very just messy top of violet hair that envelop his upturned ribbed horns.
And flanking you and walking beside you.
Yeah, so behind this tiefling, you see a very, very large humanoid figure, probably standing somewhere between 9 and 9.5 feet tall, weighing close to 400 pounds, is a Loxodon. And for those of you who don't know what a Loxodon is, that is an elephant humanoid. He is very large. He's wearing a bright purple cloak that isn't quite made for his size. You can tell that it's not custom made. It is made by a normal sized animal leather, and it stops just below his butt. He is wearing a purple, pinkish, metallic armor. It's not the nicest armor you've seen. It's well made, but it's not like the nicest material by any means. He has big boots that go up to his knees, and on his back he is carrying a rather large shield. It is not a traditional shield. It looks like if you took carved a piece off the side of a mountain. It's jagged, it's spiky, it's made of pure stone pretty much. He has little silver goggles that are currently lifted above his head. And he has on his right side a fully metallic black and gold metal arm.
Oh my.
The two of you have just returned from your prior excursion into Ward 3, back in Ward 1, returning towards the home of our fellow elephant man. And you heard some commotion coming from within the grounds. What would you like to do?
So we can hear that going on?
Yes.
Something doesn't seem right here. And then we'll just quickly pick up the pace. And as quick as my sluggish giant man can, just kind of... He walks in a not the most fluent way. He's very lumbering in his big steps, but he makes up some pace. He gets there as quick as possible. Knowing that, I'm assuming I can see the gate partially open. Yeah. And
as you approach, one of the eyes on one of the gargoyles kind of flares up into a flickering blue. It recognizes you in the door immediately. The gate immediately swings open.
Yep.
Gets stuck halfway through, and then swings open the rest of the way.
Yeah. And then I'll just say out of my, I'll fix you one day.
As you make your way inside, you follow.
Yeah, don't hesitate. See, you pick up the pace and follow
a little
suit.
flustered for sure, for an elephant.
Yeah. As you make your way inside, you can see these two figures, these guards who are standing at the doorway, and they're talking, and you can hear their voices. And one of them says, "Yes, I completely understand, Mr. Sparkeye, but we have to take you in for some questioning. It's a new law that has been passed. We need to make sure that all of these purchases are tracked, and any by order of the Cogmaster, we need to take you in for some questioning, and we need to investigate the rest of your premises."
What is the meaning of this? I can assure you, my father means no harm.
As one of the guards turns around, we can see that the man that he's talking to is a short gnome. He looks old, bald head, a long white beard that's tucked in almost to his belt. He's got like a little monocle on one of his eyes, and he looks perturbed, but not shocked or taken back or anything. And one of the guards turns to you. Yes, the big one. I believe that's what you're called.
That is my name. Yes.
Yeah. If you don't mind, we need to.
Show your face. Come on, guys.
Sorry.
If you don't mind, we need to just investigate this house for tonight. We're gonna cordon it off and make sure that everything here is good.
Well, I do mind. This is my home. Nothing is going on here. Feel free to leave now.
I'm sorry, but we need to take your father in for some questioning.
Father, what is he talking about?
Sparkeye, Janivok, responds. It seems they don't like people buying iron anymore.
Iron?
And one of the guards is like, yes, we have been ordered to apprehend and stop any sales of iron in the city. We have reports confirming that your father placed an order for a rather substantial amount of iron. We need to take him in and ask him some questions about the purposes of his purchase. This is an ongoing investigation, so I cannot tell you more.
Well, while he's saying that, I'll kind of lean back towards you and whispering, but not. I'll be like, "This must be what Mr. Fado was in trouble for."
That sounds right. Gonna just go approach approach the guard here.
Yeah.
Like,
One of the other guard kind of turns towards you, like a woman with like dark brown skin, human, who turns towards you. And tilts her head a
Just
little.
gonna extend my arm out.
She doesn't shake.
Well, that's alright then. Nice to meet you. I'm Arkmir Croft, and I'd just like to understand. I understand the situation here. I'm curious as to why we can't question Mr. Sparkeye right here. It doesn't sound like it's that large of an issue.
I'm Officer Shaw. The Cogmaster has requested all investigation of this matter to be taken personally. He will be speaking to Mr. Sparkeye either later tonight or tomorrow morning. Until then, this home is closed. You are not allowed in. We will be searching the premises, making sure that there's no evidence being hidden.
You just see the big one as he says, "Can't stay here in the evidence." I'll just and quickly run towards my my shop.
She turns towards you, she's like, "Wait, stop!" And she just starts chasing after him, while the other guard kind of puts his hand on his blade beside him, and turns. We're not supposed to allow anybody.
Well, don't worry about that. I have my own personal interests right now with Mr. Sparkeye. We've been, working together, and I have to follow up with my own business with him. Do you know where we can find him?
He pulls out a notepad.
Yep.
I'm like, and you said your name was?
Arkmir Croft.
Arkmir Croft. Okay.
Well, do you know where we'll be able to find Mr. Sparkeye?
You can see him, right behind him. He's been standing in the doorway.
You mentioned you'd be taking him away.
We will.
Yes. We'd like to make sure that he comes home safely.
You can come and check in with him tomorrow in Ward 6. Or later tonight. I don't know when the Cogmaster will have a chance to speak with him. In Ward 6, the Iron Cog barracks and holding cells. That's where the Cogmaster works. He might be done for the night. We understand that Mr. Sparkeye is a very well respected figure in town. We will make sure that he is treated properly, but we do need to make sure that he kind of looks down at him and then turns to you and almost sarcastically says, "He remains not a flight risk."
Right. I can see Mr. Sparkeye, right?
Yeah.
I was like, well, Mr. Sparkeye, we will make sure that you get home safely, and just to let you know, your friend is safe. So I would love to
see the guard just taking more notes.
Yeah. And I would love to, and I would like to conclude our business.
So I have a question for you as a DM. Are you trying to make this sound as suspicious as it's coming across?
There's a little bit of that, yes.
Okay, because if you were trying to make a point more carefully, I would let you roll a deception check or something like that. But since what you're saying is you don't mind that coming across, you'll not.
I was talking in code. What are you talking about?
I mean, I understand thieves can't, but
yes.
Yanavok kind of turns off in your direction. So hot-headed. Can you? He turns towards you. Can you make sure that he's all right? I know he'll want to take some of his stuff with him, but if the cogs think that it is important to leave it here, I'm sure it'll be fine. Just take care of him, won't you? And he kind of puts out his tiny gnome hands. And the guard turns around, pulls out some handcuffs. They're way too big.
Yeah.
Pulls out other handcuffs and ties them. Closes the handcuffs around him. And well, I guess I'm waiting here for Shaw. Meanwhile.
Yeah, and if the camera just panned over, you probably see metal coming into the door and stuff. And I'm just in there, I'm going to need this. And you see him pick up a little tea kettle and put it in his bag. Then there's a half complete construct that's not quite done that he scoops up and puts it in his bag that he carries. I don't go anywhere without Ralph. I'm sorry.
It's only for tonight. You can come back tomorrow and pick up all
Nope.
your things. We are under strict
He comes
orders.
with me.
We are under strict orders not to allow anyone to take anything that could be evidence.
Oh, it's not
from-
evidence, it's mine.
But it could be evidence from this building. I must ask.
And then I just put it on my back, carrying a big leather bag.
May I please take a look at that to make sure that it's not evidence?
Nope. It's just Ralph.
Make a persuasion check.
First roll.
Oh,
No.
way.
that's 20, baby.
No way.
Way to start!
Take a quick picture of that.
Holy shit! The dice just
Yeah.
hit the wall and
It's like, oh,
For a total of 21.
Officer Shaw kind of just like turns and looks back at the other officer and just like shrugs.
Yeah.
And he's the other officer. You see him kind of turn over there, and he's like, he lifts like do something about it. He's just like, they're doing this conversation through charades. And
Yeah, I'll just pat her on the thank you, and I'll just walk back to Arkner.
she just shakes her head and like.
And she
then
can probably see
immediately,
like things hanging out the bag, and like,
as you leave, she immediately goes into the room and
Yeah,
starts
that's
like
fine.
looking around
got what was needed.
into the warehouse. What are the two of you doing as the two guards kind of stay here? One of the guards is going to take Sparkeye and head off towards 6. But the other one's going to remain here and make sure that the premises are searched thoroughly.
If I find out anything bad happened to my father, we'll have words again.
Understood.
Well, sounds like we can't stay here.
Seems like we'll be able to pick up your dad at Ward 6 later tonight. So, I think we
Yeah, it
can-
must be what, like midday?
I mean, it's like about sunset.
Sunset, okay. Did he say later tonight or tomorrow?
He said they would question him either later tonight or first
Okay.
thing tomorrow morning,
Okay. So
Okay.
tomorrow.
depending on
Yeah.
how
I
important
mean,
the Cloudmaster
we can
is.
make our way to that ward and just hang out until he's free to go.
Sounds good to me. Let's don't need to.
I'm getting fairly
collect my
hungry.
payment.
Oh.
Never
let me
leave us-
buy
never
you
leave
some
us.
dinner.
So you would know, since you have been to Ward 6 before,
Yeah.
right? It was a long time ago, though. Ward 6 doesn't really have that many places to stay, per se.
Stay? Okay, that's fine. What about the
There's
neighboring wards?
especially not anything that could fit you. The ward is mostly known for kind of the training facilities and schools and sort of
Sure.
like educational
Yep.
institutions that are located within. Generally more
The training
dome
ward,
sized or human sized. Hard to find like smaller places. Like people usually go there for training and then go home.
What about the market ward? Like, is there food and...
Yeah, there is. In fact, Arkmir was staying at one such facility right across from the Red Street Bazaar, known as the Savvy Merchant.
Yes. Big one, if you don't mind, we can make our way to the Savvy Merchant. It's a bit of a walk, but at least we'll have a place to stay for the night.
I think that'll be what's best.
You start making your way out of Ward 1 towards Ward 5. Meanwhile, back to the other half of our adventuring party. As you make your way a few minutes walk past the strange ring fence, the guards who had questioned you, they'd asked a few questions about like where you were coming from. Karan had answered, we're coming from Cornhall. They'd asked what the purpose of your visit was. One of the caravan members, Yavnold, had said that she'd procured this caravan. She was bringing supplies and goods for trade at the market. They'd looked a little bit curiously at the wagons that were made of iron. And they took some note of it, and you could notice them kind of conferring among each other for a little while. But eventually they allowed entrance into the city. And as you gone a little ways past the Rifton Ring, you notice that the grass, which up until now and up until the last few days of your travel, had been constantly dry, dull, dead, and brown. Instead, slowly starts to become a bit greener as you continue walking. A bit more verdant, healthy. You even start noticing some shrubs and some small trees scattered here near the edge of the city.
You see Taimun literally amazed at this because it's the first time that you see grass. Green grass and shrubs and I guess live flora around them.
Yeah. Immediately, you find yourself on a sort of a dirt path. Even the ground here, like the cracked and broken dirt that you've been walking on for the past little while, it's softer. It's almost healthier in some way. You see small farms scattered around, grains and vegetables growing, orchards. You see a windmill off in the distance towards one side. It looks almost pastoral. It feels like peaceful and calm and not like any other place that you've seen in the last at least few weeks. The smell of fresh bread comes to your nose from a distant home, and it seems homely. It's warmth, and as the sun sets and it starts to become dark, you notice these lights almost go on. These lights that appear almost magical. They don't seem to be flame. They're providing light from within themselves. All of them kind of scattered around the city, around the street, essentially, on these tall poles of brassy gold metal. It's a beautiful sight. As you continue to walk, these wider open farms, they're replaced by houses. The dirt road replaced by a continuously narrowing cobblestone road, as these houses start to pop up and they start to narrow and choke the lanes a little bit, until eventually barely two cars can fit side by side on this road. You continue on and eventually come to a large sign. And at this point in the city, you've also noticed a lot of people. People of all races, people of all kinds, of all heights, shapes, sizes, just going about their own business. You've also noticed a strange amount of metallic constructs, animals, pets, moving humanoid beings, and even some that look and move indistinguishably from humans or other mortal races, essentially. But they seem to be made entirely of metal plating, metal parts, powered somehow, maybe, who knows?
Oi, Kirana. What the fuck are these?
She turns towards you. Be more polite. You're in their city. We'll talk when we get to the inn. Just keep a low profile. Let's get there.
Strange folk. Okay.
As she continues leading you along, and eventually you come to a sign, like a signpost in the ground that's jutting out, and there's like arrows on it pointing in all different directions. At the top of which it says Ward 5. It says Ward. One second. It says Ward 5. Then it has a sign on the right, pointing to the right, that says Ward 7. A sign to the left that says Ward 4. A sign pointing straight ahead that says Ward 1. And then a sign pointing kind of between Ward 1 and Ward 4 that says Red Street Bazaar.
Oh god. So many arrows.
And you come to this almost like square of sorts, and like there's lots of roads branching out from everywhere. There's like a large fountain in the middle that seems to be flowing water, which is also a strange sight. You have no idea where this water came from. A lot of things here are just completely unlike anything that you've seen before. But Kirana eventually, like, she guides you all through this traffic and through the din of people, and also now you notice it is loud. There's lots of people walking around everywhere. There were still, like, up until the last, like, little while, until sunset, there was still smoke spewing from chimneys and hammering and clanging noises and tinkering noises and all sorts of loud din of the city at work, essentially. But she guides you through, and eventually through an even narrower alleyway where essentially you have to wait for the people in front of you to move along before your wagons can move. You arrive at the side of a building. It's almost like a tall, narrow structure, about 3, maybe even 4 stories tall. Almost like a flatiron shape. Very narrow. And the first thing that you notice is that there are no lights coming from inside, essentially. The windows are either darkened or dark, and from all of these windows from across all of the 4 floors of the strange brick building, there's no lights. As Karana kind of turns to you, we're here. Rued, you take the goats over to the stable. I guess you're gonna leave the wagons here and secure rooms for the night.
Is it safe to leave the wagons outside?
Usually do.
Do you stay here?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is it's the cheapest damn inn in the city. And it's the closest to the bazaar where Yavnil, she's going to be selling some of her goods for the upcoming while. We'll probably all get some rooms here. Spend the night.
I can't wait to have a drink of ale. Been traveling through these scorched lands all day.
Not gonna lie, if you want to drink, you probably don't want to drink it here. There's better places around for that. Here, this is it's a small hole in the wall, known as the Savvy Merchant. Really, the only people who stay here are merchants who really just want to save all the coins they make before they do their sale, and then once they've made the sale, they move to other better places.
Are you sure this place is even open? I see no lights.
They pride themselves on their rustic atmosphere.
So no lights.
No.
Are you writing that in your journal? You make the weirdest notes.
What's weird about that?
Like, don't you just remember that it's going to be a dark place?
Not always.
What
Maybe
else did you write?
You pretty much just see basically every conversation and everything we've seen being like cataloged.
Oh my god, you saw me picking my nose? You made a note about that? God.
It's just what I observed.
Yeah, she does that all the time. That's just kind of, I don't know, she has a tick or something.
It was an itch. It didn't,
Why is your face going so red?
That doesn't look natural.
It's my complexion. Sometimes it's the way
See? She did it again.
That actually wasn't even on.
As you're talking, Karana kind of starts walking in, and Yavnil and the other members of the caravan follow. Nipnor, which you see now, we didn't really talk much about him earlier, which I feel like was a mistake. He has this giant canister on his back as like a backpack that he's carrying. It's a large barrel that's almost twice his size. It's made of the same sort of brassy, bronze-colored metal that a lot of things around the city are made of. And there's a bunch of knobs and buttons and strange lights and stuff on it. Everything seems soft and inert. And as he walks, he's like, "Can't wait to finally be able to take this thing off." He goes
Oi,
inside.
don't go losing that again. I'm not gonna go find you again.
It's fine. Once Yavnil sells all this stuff, we'll have more than enough money to buy more of these. Maybe. He goes inside. As the rest of you can look, you can see there's like a small rackety door at the front of this building. There's a sign above that's dangling, like a wooden sign that just has like in really broken letters, just like Savvy Merchant, and like a coin purse, an empty coin purse drawn on it.
Go find the bar.
you walk inside, there's like a stairway to your left that just leads up, and you like take a look up. It goes up all the way, essentially like 4 floors. You see up ahead in front of you, there's basically it's just a bar on this floor. There's just a bar to your right, and to your left there's like a small like bench to sit on. It's a really, really broken down place. In the far distance, though, at the end of it, you do see like a small bulletin board of sorts that's been put up. It's empty. Nothing on it.
Bless you.
Bless you. I walk up to the bench. Is it a bench or a stool?
It's like a bench.
Bench?
Yeah. There's probably room for like 3 or 4 people to sit at the bar.
Okay. Yeah, like he walks over to the bench, sits down, and looks intently at the barkeep.
The bartender, who is a woman, walks up, says, "Oi, you're a new face around here."
I just arrived in town. What kind of ale do you have here?
She's a human. She's got like her hair, like blonde hair, tied up into a very messy bun. She's wearing just like plain clothes, like a dirty apron. Well, we got ale. That's honestly about it.
That will do.
Alright. She like turns around, grabs like one of the mugs off of the shelf, looks at it, puts it down, grabs another mug, puts it under the tap, like pulls the keg, like lever, I guess. I don't know how bars work. Like pours a beer and like closes it, gives it to you.
Don't worry, lads. I'm not a fancy kind of guy.
Hey, that'll be 2 copper.
Okay, here you go.
He takes it. Yeah, and then the name's Lydia. What are you doing about here?
The name's Timon Ironbeard. I just arrived at the caravan from Cornwall.
Ah, Cornwall. Haven't had anybody from there around.
We don't travel much.
Not many people do. It'd be foolish to do so.
We saw our fair share of dangers on our way here. It really is dangerous to be strolling around there.
Yeah, it's pretty safe here though.
Are you from Schema?
Aye, born and raised.
Ever traveled anywhere?
Nope. My father owned a spear establishment. And now I own this here establishment.
It's a fine establishment you got here.
Yep. If you drink the beer, it's rank. It's
Very fine.
very strong and aged quite well.
Fine aged ale.
Meanwhile, Astra, what are you doing?
As we were walking in and I saw that there were stairs going up, I wanted to kind of like take a peek and see if I can see where the stairs are going to, if there's something of interest up there.
It's hard to see because it's dark upstairs. But you can kind of make out just like another floor up there.
Okay.
You can go upstairs and see what's up there.
Okay, because
There's the only people on this floor are the people that like you walked in with. You see Karana's kind of like sitting at the bar also waiting for a drink. The rest of them seem to have filtered out. Some of them went upstairs.
because Astra is going to be curious if there's like because it's a tall building, right?
Yes.
So then she knows there's going to be a number of stairs. She's going to see if there's like a viewing platform or something where she can go look at the sky. So she'll start climbing the stairs.
As you climb up the stairs, you come to another landing, and this landing is basically where the bar is. Instead of that, there's just a small sort of table that's set up. And sitting at this table is a man who's just sitting there, like, with a ledger open. Hi, How can I help you?
Oh, sorry, just looking around. What you got there?
He looks down, looks up. It's like balding. He's got like very thin hair on his head. It's the ledger of who's staying in which room. Would you like a room?
No, sorry, I thought you were writing a story. That's less interesting. Bye, and then I'm gonna keep going up the next stairs.
But there's...
I'm gone.
You just keep going up the stairs, another flight of stairs, and then another until you eventually come to the top level. Basically on each of the levels, except for the first one, there's just doors on the side of each of these hallways. Very dimly lit, maybe like a single torch on either floor or either landing.
So do I assume that they're probably rooms to stay, like, for sleeping and stuff?
It's up to you to assume.
Okay. That is what I assume.
Kalthir, what are you doing?
So I would have walked in slowly, looking around. You mentioned there's nobody else on.
Not
in here,
really,
right? Just
and
us.
as you came in, also like even the members of your party, some of them started going up. They've been here; they're fairly familiar with the place. You hear the talking and conversations happening up the stairs. Most of the people filter out. Karana and Diamond are pretty much the only people sitting here at the bar.
Yeah, I've been kind of taking note of like what people have been talking about. So I'm gonna walk over to the bar as well, where Timon and Karana are talking with the barkeep. Hello there. Did I overhear you say that you own this establishment?
Aye.
And you said your father owned it before you.
Aye.
Was it something that you always wanted to do? Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, that's good.
It pays the bills.
Does anyone else work here?
No, just me and my husband.
So if anything was to happen to you, would he continue running?
I sure as well hope so.
Interesting.
I've never seen anyone quite like you before. Is everything all right with your?
I'm fine. I've never seen anyone like you. So I guess we both met someone new today.
Don't worry about it, lass. He's kind of weird like that.
Would you like an ale?
Did you make it?
No.
No, thank you. I saw people going upstairs, like Astra went upstairs, and I'm assuming some other people went. So I'll just kind of like slowly walk around, just looking at everything around. And
As you turn
trying to see
around,
kinda how they got
you,
everything.
with your high perception, hear loud footsteps approaching the building from outside. On footsteps on cobblestone.
Right.
Very loud.
I'll kind of, I'll just like take a seat over kind of near Timon there and just writing in my book again, cataloging this stuff. But kind of like take note and keep an eye on the door of just the sound that I'm hearing.
Arkmir and the big one. You're approaching this building, and it's definitely not what you expected approaching it. So you're kind of a bit in a huff. You're also not really used to being out of Ward 1. Everything here is small and crowded, and there's so many people. It's not the best night of your life. You're worried about your father. Things are not going really well for you. Arkmir, because of how distracted he is, you're the one who notices. Parked beside the building, there's a couple of wagons. You also notice they're made of iron. The third thing you notice is there are a lot of eyes on these wagons. You notice a lot of people just surreptitiously hanging around the area, like with their backs against the wall, just like looking at them from across the street, from across the square. You gather there's a sense of tension here. And you immediately know there's a target here. You notice at least 3 or 4 different groups of people eyeing the wagons, and then cross-eyed eyeing themselves. It's like you're walking onto the middle of a Western saloon.
Right.
Essentially.
I'll just turn to big one. Yep. think we want to move a little bit quickly here. Let's
Well,
Let's
I
hop
don't think
inside.
we should be outside of Ward 5 either, but I mean...
And I just kind of make my way a little bit faster into the savvy what is that? Merchant. Yes.
How big's the door frame?
It'd be a very tight squeeze. You're probably not getting it without damaging something.
Oh, you'll see me go suck in and then just foot first and then and knocking. Oh, sorry.
So you all inside the bar, you just see this giant, like the door opens and then gets completely blocked out. You cannot see outside as this giant figure just like tries to squeeze in, lumbering in through the door. And it's the strangest creature you've ever seen in your life.
It's just rude.
Diamond, have you seen someone like this before?
No.
Then you just see me like trying to put ornaments back on the wall, like, oh, sorry.
Well, that's a big one.
Yes, he is.
Arkmer, you follow and you see here in the lobby unfamiliar faces. You haven't seen them before.
Arkmir like emerging from behind.
Yeah, you see a red
Just kinda
skinned
scooting
tiefling
behind.
in a long trench coat, just like emerging from beside him, just like looking around.
Careful, Diamond. He also has black eyes.
What's up with that? Hey, lad. What's up with the black eyes? Is that a common thing?
Well, I'm sorry. Hi, I'm
Hi.
Arkmir Croft.
I'm Timon Ironbeard.
Well, it's nice to meet you, sir. I just turned to the lady at the bar. I presume I know her name at this
Yeah,
point.
it's Lydia.
Lydia. Lydia, I'll have one of your finest, please.
Yeah,
Just the
sure.
regular.
Who's your friend? She like turns around and starts pouring one.
It's just a pal. He needs a place to stay for tonight. It's a little bit rough. Hope we can accommodate him.
Not up those stairs, we can't. But we'll figure something out. Might be a couple coppers extra, but maybe you can take our room and Cedric and I can sleep in one of the guest rooms upstairs. Is he all right? He doesn't look
Yeah,
good.
at this point I'm just kind of standing there like little mopey, like...
As she takes another look over you. Purple robes. You an artificer?
You know us?
Yeah. Been in the city long enough.
Oh, I've been here my entire life, and I am an artificer. Artificer.
What are you?
Artificer.
She just like glances between the two of you. Okay. She like gives you a wink. You all see this.
Yeah.
Do I see it?
Make a perception check. She's not really trying, but you are
I got
distracted.
advantage
so.
on it. It's a 1.
Good thing.
That's out of the tray. That's a 13 plus 0. 13.
Yeah, you see it. She's not really trying to
Yeah.
hide it.
Excuse me. Artificer, I've heard that word a couple times now. What does it mean?
Well, it's the greatest people of all this entire planet.
Are you an artificer then?
That I am, yes.
Are you an artificer?
Oh, no. No.
I'll take that as a no then.
Sir. And sir.
Oh.
Hello.
Hello.
I am Arkmir Croft. May I know who you are?
Calthea.
Calthea. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And you?
Um,
Oh, sorry, I'm like...
yeah. And you see like a giant, just very lightly. The big
Yeah.
one.
Your name is the big one.
My name is the big one, yes.
It's a little on the nose, isn't it?
Lydia just can't help but like she just starts giggling.
Yeah.
Well, the name my father gave me.
Wait, you helped them build all that shit over in the excavation ward.
That I did, yes.
Yeah, I've heard of you. Never seen you around, but heard of you.
I have not heard of you.
Yeah. Not many people have, to be honest.
Well, I'm just gonna turn over and seems like you guys are new here, and I'm not sure if one of you own the cart outside, but it seems like it's getting a lot of eyes. You may want to go ahead and check on that. And I just turn back and...
Do you hear that, Kirana?
Yeah, that's weird. We normally just park it there and nobody really gives another thought to it.
Did I notice the iron or no?
Yeah.
I did?
Yeah, you
Okay.
would have noticed that it's made of iron, but
Yeah.
you did not notice it was being eyed by a lot of people. You were
Okay.
distracted by it.
Is it made of iron or full of
It's
iron?
made of iron. You can't see what's in it.
Okay,
Yeah.
but it's a
like covered
cart.
with like a tarp. But it's the cart.
Yeah.
The cart itself is even made of iron. Which is,
So yeah, again, quietly, not quietly. I'll lean to you right in front of everybody. Hey, that cart outside was made of iron, and it just so happens my father just got arrested for ordering a bunch of iron, and Fado was also in trouble because of iron. I want to say there's a coincidence here, but I'm not quite sure.
Simon, did you hear all that?
It is right
How did
here.
you hear me?
Big lad, you
It's the big one.
big lad, you speak kind of loud, you know.
I'm using my indoor voice.
Care to show me your outdoor voice?
We'll save that for another time.
Kirana, should go take a look at that cart.
yeah. We already unhitched the goat. All right, let's go see what's happening outside. She,
Let's
like,
go.
It's off the. Gets
Welcome.
off the thing. She, like downs her ale and starts making her way outside. It's a bit of a tight squeeze in this place with everybody here. So the
I
it
get
involves a
it,
little
I
bit
get
of
it.
squeezing and moving.
I get it.
Astra, you made it to the top floor.
Just add on your
There
own.
wasn't much. There wasn't a skylight. There's no
Okay.
balcony.
I was
One of the
hoping
rooms
there'd be,
might have a
like-
balcony, but
Okay, like nothing on the ceiling for me to look outside.
still just seems like a thatched roof.
Okay, it's
It's like that
just
Rocky
roof.
montage from the top of the stairs.
Okay, if there's nothing interesting, I'm just gonna come back down the stairs.
You come down the stairs and you find yourself in a bar that is very much more crowded than it was when you left. The rest of the caravan's members seem to have filtered off and gone to either their respective rooms, or you see some of them. You actually run into Nipnor, who's left his backpack and stuff in his room, ostensibly, and is making his way out the door before, like, out into the city, even before these guys start making their way out.
They're leaving. So sorry. Who is left? in
Nipnor is
bar
at the
then?
door leaving as you're
Okay.
making your way down here, and you see this conversation kind of happening out of the
Okay.
corner of your eye still.
Okay. So do I see these guys? Is it-
You see them off to the left at the bar. You see two new people that you don't recognize, and Timon, Kirana, and up here at the bar.
Okay. So I'm gonna kind of look around the room, and then you see me look at the giant elephant. I'm like, and then I walk up towards him, but then I go around him and go to the tiefling. I'm like, oh my god, it's like looking in a mirror.
What? Hello there.
Okay. I guess.
Hi, I'm Arkmir Croft. May I know who you are?
No,
Um,
two of them.
Astra, you're
Yes, I have horns.
me too.
I've noticed.
And I compare them. Yours are much bigger than mine.
Well, thank you.
He's got the same black eyes as Galtier.
I know, it's kind of spooky. What's about that?
For some reason, they don't like our eyes.
No,
I
never
didn't
said
say
that
I
I didn't
didn't.
like it.
It's kind of spooky,
No, man.
but yeah.
Kelpie, with your passive perception, you notice that when Arkmir leans forward to shake Astra Tanner's coat kind of pops open, you can see a rapier and daggers tied to his belt. He seems armed, though he does his best to hide it.
Damn that perception.
The red is pretty cool though. The eyes they're a little bit creepy. The red is cool. I want to try it, and then I'm gonna cast Mask of Many Faces and try to turn myself red. What do you think?
She looks exactly like she did before, just with red skin.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah?
I would like to know how you did that.
Nothing happens.
In front of me. Oh, okay.
Yeah, try it.
Just all there in the
Oh
pub.
my god. I've heard of you guys. I've read about you. You're a laxative, aren't you?
I don't think this one's all there.
I,
Said very loudly.
Yeah.
Just the.
We just do the head.
Yeah. Yeah.
wow.
Actually, he's an artificer.
You see a
Oh.
little smile under his trunk.
What's an artificer?
I'm not exactly sure.
What's an artificer?
Well, it's complicated. I mean, we make things and we create things and we craft things. We do a lot especially for this city,
So like DIY?
to some extent.
I always thought your
What's
trunks
DIY?
would be bigger.
Oh, I have big ass trunks. Or trunks. Tusks. Did you say trunks or tusks?
Trunk.
Oh, that's standard.
I have 2 trunks.
Two. Yeah. And mind you, my trunk is probably the size of you. It's pretty close.
I just thought it'd be bigger.
It's at this point that Karana kind of makes her way out the door. You're following.
Follow.
You follow. You exit out into kind of this small square that this tavern is kind of built on. There's like other buildings surrounding it, and you can kind of make out there's people hanging about just in general, milling about. Some of them are looking a little bit like they're just going about their business. Some of them are staring rather pointedly at the tavern.
What's up with all these people, Karana?
She like turns around, looks at the wagon, and they're still there.
Oi, you cross the street there.
You-
Why are you eyeing this wagon so much? What's special about it?
So you call out to this one, like, small, sort of like shifty looking figure that's just standing there. He just like looks up at you. Fuck off.
You fuck off.
Just like,
Oi, you. Next to him. What's about this cart?
as you call that out, and one of them kind of mans up and like shakes his like coat, and you can see he's wearing like a long coat, similar in some ways to what Arknir wears. Actually, it's like a long duster coat that reaches down to almost to the like ground itself, like a pale brown color. It's got like large like sleeve shoulder pads, essentially, like you know the type of coat that I'm talking about. He walks up. Yeah. You're the owner of those carts over there?
What if I am?
Our boss wants to say hi.
Who's your boss?
Don't just ask that. You not know who I am?
No.
You're new here, aren't you? And Karana kind of steps up. Yeah, I've heard you. I've seen you a lot around. They call you the Dusters? The guy kind of like has like a little bit of a grimace on his face and cracks his neck. We're the cure of dust, bitch.
Damn.
Not dusters.
What was it? The Kira?
The cure of dust.
Cure of dust. Oh, okay.
AKA the dust.
Karana kind of was like, sure, whatever. What do you want? And the guy says, our boss would like to inquire as to the purchasability or seizability of your goods. And she says, yeah, well, they're going to be for sale at the market tomorrow. Come by and buy them. I'm sure we'll be willing to sell for a fair price. To which the man replies, they're not going to be for sale tomorrow. She says, no, we are definitely and he just cuts her off.
That
New
one
law.
starts to grip his
Oh boy.
hammer.
New bylaw. No sale of iron. Doing you good favor here. We'll take it off your hands. You'll get paid for it. All you have to do is just sell it to us. If you try to sell it in the city, they're probably gonna get seized by the fucking cogs.
He said cogs, Alyssa.
Meanwhile, inside,
Shut up.
what are the rest of you doing as Timon kind of goes out with Karana?
Definitely be talking to you. You mentioned that you build things. On the way into the city, there were many creatures made of metals. I've never seen something like that. Some kind of mechanical.
I'm guessing constructs, right?
Yeah.
Would I have built any of them? Probably not those ones.
No, probably not. But you would probably know people who
Yeah.
have built them.
Oh, you're talking about the constructs.
Constructs is what they're called.
Yep.
How do they move on their own?
Well, they're alive, just like you and me.
I've never seen creatures of such state.
They're really quite intelligent and useful.
But you mentioned you make them, they aren't born.
I mean, they're born in the sense that we give them life, but they aren't born like you and me, I suppose.
Where does that life come from?
It's I don't think you would quite understand it, even if I told you.
Well,
He's calling you stupid.
Do I hear that?
Are you trying to not have him hear that? Or do you not care?
No. No, I don't care.
Well, I think he's rather intelligent, but it's just more complicated than most things.
Perhaps with time.
Perhaps.
I'd like to learn more about these.
Darkmere, Astra, is there anything that you both want to do here? Are you just gonna head up to your room?
Still sitting there perplexed at how Astra performed this change. Sit there wondering, and then go ahead and apply my disguise kit to the best of my ability to match what I had saw Astra.
Make a cool proficiency check with your disguise kit. Are you're proficient with it? So just roll a d20 plus your
Dex?
It's either Dex or Charisma, one of the two. Plus your proficiency bonus.
Plus my what?
Plus your proficiency bonus.
Not very high. This is a 9. That is a 12.
Yeah.
You see him kind of crack open this box. It looks like all sorts of odds and ends, sort of some makeup, some like disguise pieces, some like you see like a almost like a scalp covering to cover his horns that's like molded around, fitting those and making him look more like a human, effectively. You see like a few wigs in there. He like starts messing around with some of the makeup and starts applying it. And his skin does turn almost like a lilac-ish, purplish shade, but it takes him a lot of time and effort. Like he's sitting there for probably like a solid 10 or 15 minutes, just trying to like.
Look, yep.
Just applying
Cool. Ooh, let's trade glasses. Yeah.
Is there anything peculiar about your glasses, or are they just?
They're just really big.
Is there anything peculiar about your glasses?
No, they're just very small. For now.
How well can both of you see without glasses?
That's a great question. I'm gonna say pretty shit.
I can see perfectly fine.
So you put the glasses on and you don't notice any change at all. You put the glasses on and immediately start to get a headache. You had to take them off.
Like, Here you go. That was fun.
It's at this point outside, Timon, that another group begins to kind of approach, having heard this conversation happening.
I'm looking around to see, just who's paying attention to the conversation and who has a vested interest in what's going on.
So it seems like there's a few, 3 or 4 groups of people scattered about. But the 2 largest, one of them is all wearing these duster coats, essentially. And one of the people in it was the ones who came up to you. The other one that approaches, they're all wearing almost like a wristband of razor blades around their their right fist. And one of them approaches. Yeah, you don't want to do business with those rats. And the duster coat is yeah, fuck off. And they seem to know each other. And the man with the razor blades comes over and kind of sticks out his hand. The blades are just dangling on it. You shake it. He introduces himself as Galaram, member of the Razors.
The razors what?
The Razors.
Oh, just the razors.
Yeah. We used to run this here town until these fuckers stabbed us in the back.
Oh, so you're friends?
He spits slightly towards him. The man with the duster coat kind of backs off a little. Seems like he doesn't really want to engage right now. But the rest of you inside, this conversation is happening close enough to the door that if the talking kind of dies down at all inside, you'll probably be able to hear it. There's something going on out front.
Are you also interested in the cart?
Yeah.
So you talk to her then?
Karana kind of looks. Let's go inside and talk about this time, and we'll talk to Yavnel, see what she wants to do. If it's really true that they're saying that it's illegal to sell iron, it might be in a bit of a pickle. Almost everything, she starts to say something and then stops herself. We'll if y'all want to come back later tonight, I guess we'll talk. She just turns and walks away. But if anybody touches our goods before then, she pointedly points towards them and puts her hand on her hammer and turns around and walks away, and they can see it. They know that you all aren't unarmed. Be a bit of a pickle.
As soon as she crosses the door threshold, I ask her, is there anywhere you would like to move your cart?
I'm afraid they'll have eyes on it. If we try to move it, we might get attacked along the way.
Is there anywhere around?
I think we're in for a penny, in for a pound at this point. So long as the guards don't. I need to figure out why can't we just sell our shit? What the fuck is going on? I need a drink. She walks back over to the bar. I'm
Listen, I got no vested interest in your goods or your cart, but you've been a good friend. So if you need any help, I'm here.
Yeah, I'll go upstairs and talk to Yavnel. It's her goods, to be honest. I was just the captain hired to make sure this trip goes smoothly. She's the one who pays the bills. So
I need to find this Spark Eye guy. Don't know. I'll try to find him tomorrow.
Arkmir, and the big one. You're from here? You know this place? Do you know anyone by the name Spark Eye?
Well, that's my father.
Your father is Spark Eye.
Yes.
What are the chances that we run
What
into
do you want with my father?
have some questions about a device that I've seen, but I believe others. I know Timon wants to talk to him about something else.
I'm looking for someone, and perhaps he might give me some information to help me find you.
Well, unfortunately, your timing is not the greatest. He was taken tonight.
Taken? By whom?
He was arrested by the Iron Cog, the guards of this city.
What crime did he commit?
None that I'm aware of, but they kept talking about his involvement with the purchase of iron in this city. That's all I know. They think he didn't do anything. My father is a good man.
Are you going to see him?
He has been taken to Ward 6 and being held at the barracks there. And we're not sure when we can see him.
Rats.
Well,
Such unfortunate timing.
come in and like, no, Hyman. Let's let Big One, take it easy tonight. We'll be getting his dad back tomorrow. As for you, I think I heard that you're looking for someone.
By the way, right now he looks like me.
He looks vaguely similar. He's got lilac skin.
Well,
Everything
some of the
else.
seriousness here, though. Yeah. I just so happened to help Big One and his father help them find their missing friend, and it sounds like you could use some help here too. Jim, can I be of assistance?
Sure. What do you want, though?
Whatever you think is fair.
Sorry, lad. I'm not one that has got money.
Well, if anything ever comes up, then let me know, and I'll be here to help you out.
But I have skilled in crafting things.
Because at this point, Big One, you are also kind of taking a note of him, and he has some contraption on his back that you think is strange. It looks strangely built. It has some portions, like it seems like it was built by someone experienced and like trained at like crafting things. There's like metal pieces shaped into kind of similar material to what you would have in your constructions. It's like a long wooden tube, essentially.
I mean, I have my gun on me.
Yeah.
Does it look like that?
Not quite. It's longer. It's made of completely different material that
Does it
you've
have the
ever
same, like,
seen.
does it have, like, what I would know as a trigger or, like, a...
It has a trigger.
I don't know guns.
It has a trigger.
Yeah.
It has a locking mechanism.
That's, sure.
But nothing is... Like, you're used to shaping all of these parts out of electrosteel.
Yep.
You can see these are made out of iron. Like,
Yeah.
pieces. Like, solid, black, like, gunmetal, essentially. In some ways, the material of this and the construction of it is actually more sophisticated because working such a heavy metal into these, like, shapes requires a lot of skill. So.
You would also see like engravings along the tube and
Interesting.
dwarvish runes.
Excuse me, small dwarf man.
Name is Timon.
Apologies, Timon. What is that on your back?
Oh, this is something my sister made me.
But what is it?
Pull it out.
You see he's holding this long, like, wooden tube with, like, a metal tube attached to it, like, made of solid iron clasped together. It's got these, like, runes and stuff on it.
This is a weapon. Its name is Thunder.
Thunder. What does thunder do?
Almost as if on cue, in the far distance, you hear a thunder, like the sound of rolling.
See a lightning to the door and then just the shadow of Timon. this device, my sister, she helped me craft it.
It looks sort of like this, and I'll pull out my not as nicely made flintlock made of, what's it, the steel called again?
So it's made of this brassy,
Yeah.
like goldish colored metal. You know it as electrosteel.
Electrosteel, yeah.
But even like the frame and stuff of it is almost like your gun is almost entirely metal. There's like
Yeah.
almost next to no wood in
Yeah,
it.
just maybe the handle.
Oh. Care to show me yours? You can hold this if you
I'll just
would like.
easily grab it.
You take it, and for you it's nothing, but
It's
it's
like my trunk
fairly
is like smelling
heavy.
it.
You take the pistol, and it is light. It's very light.
Especially for a big gun. Like
Is
it
it like a
pretty-
massive pistol?
It's like a flint, like an elephant-sized
Yeah.
flintlock.
Flintlock
yeah,
pistol.
yeah.
What kind of metal is this? This.
It is
I've
the
not
best,
worked
most
with
durable metal in this city.
this. Inside
stuff
check.
we use.
Inside check.
Make an insight
Yeah.
check.
Oh. 14.
He believes it is.
I'm telling the truth.
He's
Yeah.
telling the truth. He
Yeah.
believes it is the most strongest and durable metal in the city.
Did you make this?
Assuming I made
Yeah.
it? Yeah. Yeah, of course I did. I told you I make things.
Did you work the metal?
I did with my own hands.
I can see that.
It's great craftsmanship.
Aye.
I'm just gonna grab it back and put it in. I would grab it with my right hand, so you would notice my metal arm at that point.
I immediately noticed your metal. What is that?
My rapier.
That's a story for another time, and I'll just
Trade?
put my cloak on and then turn my back to you.
I'm sorry, can I
I'm
have
like,
my...
"Oh, please."
can
Oh
I
yeah,
have
yeah. I would have given
Sorry
it.
for
back.
this
Yeah.
one, this is mine.
Yeah, no, this is mine. I'm like,
And I am immediately intrigued and at the same time a little bit, something about this guy. Does yours fire as well?
I've already turned away from you. Like you can see when you notice the arm, and then potentially the comments about the weapon. It gets a little. He's already having a rough night. Kind of just turns around and goes back to his own thoughts.
Oi, lad, sorry, I meant no offense.
Oh, that's okay. It's been a long day.
I'm a bit brisk, but I don't mean you no harm.
You couldn't harm me.
Chelsea, you hear the sound of like voices shouting outside.
I love that.
And in the middle of it, you hear the telltale sound of a weapon being drawn from a sheath.
I'm gonna go. Is Corona still?
Ronald went upstairs.
She went upstairs. Then I'll
Oh,
go
shoot.
over to Time and. Excuse me. There's. It sounds like a bit of commotion going on outside. I'm not entirely sure what went down in your conversation, but it may have sparked up again.
I should
don't
probably
know,
give you
mate.
this back.
Some rude
I'll take
people
Cynthia.
outside of the door, they have a keen interest to the cart. And some talk about iron being outlawed in the city. Some new law bullshit. A guy with razors, another with a dusty coat. I don't know. They seem to like each other.
A lot of interesting characters. I just wanted to let you know in case there might be something, or you might want to check out.
As he says that, you hear a loud scream outside as though somebody just got stabbed. They're just like, "Ah!"
It appears someone may have just gotten hurt. They may be trying to make a move on your caravan.
Aye, but the caravan ain't mine.
Well, it's not mine either, but I wanted to let you know.
I would have heard that.
Yeah.
I'm going straight outside. But like,
We went a long time before break, so let's take a break as you
Oh,
make your way outside.
shoot. Cool.
Alright.
Alright, we'll catch you back here in a
Nice.
few minutes.
I
Hello.
Hi.
And welcome back.
Hi.
Well, just get some wind going.
Ding ding.
Some wind, I mean music.
I like the fountain.
Shh, they can't see it yet. Spoilers.
Don't listen to her. She's crazy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Scooch bud. Scooch in. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah.
You good?
Hello. Cool.
So you heard this noise outside the tavern. Big one. You're the first one to emerge, and you can hear clanging of swords and like weapons off to your left. It is now pretty dark outside, but there are lights scattered around, so it's not like a dimly lit alleyway by any means. So like a bit of a square that's open in front of the building, and you can hear noises coming from to your left.
So which building? Like, what do I see? I'm just right in the middle of a square.
You're kind of in the middle of a square. There's a few buildings and trees surrounding you.
And which way was the cart? To my left.
The cart is to your left. Yeah.
Okay.
It's parked to the left beside the building that you just
Gotcha. Can I roughly see how many people are in this area fighting?
So as you turn around and you see probably about half a dozen people, and they're just like swords are
Hacking each
clanging
other?
off of each other, just like the tough fighting going on. You also see off in the distance a dead, like a body lying on the ground.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
Just past, like near the carts actually.
Okay. Yeah. I'll
Make a perception check.
Okay. I think it's just. Oh, I have 17.
You can make out that the body lying on the ground is clad in rusted, old, dented metal armor.
Like of the iron cog, or
That's
like
what
of,
you gather.
Okay. I will. Once I get myself out of the door, I will turn back and just very loudly say, "Arkmir, there's a problem out here," and then I'll start making my way towards that body.
As you head out, there's a fight happening here. There's
Yeah.
like fighting all around the carts themselves.
Yeah,
Like, what are you?
I'll get my shield ready and just kind of like.
All right. I
Potentially.
guess might as well roll initiative and see where things fall.
Okay.
These guys are definitely going to notice as you start making your way to the cart.
Sure.
Everyone? Or just-
Yeah, even the ones inside.
Bring it,
We'll figure this out as we go.
I'm rolling a
It's interesting because it's the chaos of battle happening here.
Ooh.
16 plus 3, 19.
18 minus 3, 50.
1 minus 1, 0.
Oh wow! I thought I was gonna have the worst, but then I forgot a list of.
Do you guys all have negative initiative?
I think you can only have one anyway. Like, I don't think initiative can be 0, can it?
Can initiative be 0?
Let's go 20 to 50.
It'd probably be negative.
Me, 19.
Oh, come here.
Would you say
Go ahead
20,
and
15?
Yep.
Not fail
15.
again. Please no.
This is brought to you by nobody.
11.
11 for
Oh.
Oh, damn.
Diamond, correct.
Did you do that?
I did do that.
10 to 5. 5 to 1.
3. Not last.
What'd you roll?
10.
Okay.
Plus 1.
Astra, what did you roll?
You actually,
I have a 0.
Oh,
I
is
okay.
that
rolled-
actually a valid initiative?
I rolled a
think so.
1 and I have a
I don't see
negative
why not.
1.
Yeah. Technically.
Yeah.
Technically, that is correct.
I'm still like
So
in
I'm
the bar
assuming
like
this is
telling
the
fixed
stories.
range of like 1 to 20 or sorry, I guess 1 plus.
Just make my way up front. Hey, it actually is kind of similar. I'm bigger than the door. I feel like we should turn it on. Oh well. Chaoticness. All the swords and the clanking.
So,
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
big one. You came out, and
Yeah.
you just saw a bunch of people just going ham near these wagons, just kind of fighting with each other.
Oh, they're dead. Ha! Ha. Yeah.
over here. It's just like a big melee. It's just broken out around it.
No.
Nope. Does it just
We'll
need
have
to tilt
to-
down?
Yeah.
Nope.
The corpse is lying kind of around here.
I mean, this is now like
Yeah.
it's not the greatest spot.
Oh, we can tilt it down, I guess, and give it like more of an angled shot.
Yeah, we can do this. Might have to adjust this a lot, Jared. I don't know what I did. Sort of good.
It's fine. But yeah, you,
can
can
play
put
with
your
it.
mini out the front door of this
Yep.
building.
I'm there.
What are you doing?
So is there anybody doing this
Arco,
part?
you're the first to react, but you're still inside. You want to start making your way out?
Yep. Just kind of get up and wipe my face off here a little bit. Just like, well, and sorry, what was it that I heard? Big one shout.
We have a problem out here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, kind of make my way out, kind of calmly but briskly walking out.
Yep. You make your way out, and Big One's kind of blocking your way as you like duck around, and you can see outside there's some sort of a fracas happening around the corner. But you just make your way out. Big One, it's your turn next. What are you doing?
Is there anybody in this vicinity, or are they mostly by the cart?
Mostly, they're all kind of gathered around here. You see a few people kind of running off. With the fighting that's ensued, you see a few groups kind of like running off into the distance. Make a perception check for me.
15.
You do notice a figure watching from across the street in that terrace over there.
Up here?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I don't really. I kind of will just. Yeah, I'll just sit there with my shield in front of me and I'll just yell out to anybody, just like, what is the meaning of this? And then I will hold Ray of Frost in case I get attacked by anybody.
Okay. So
Hold an action, sorry, yeah.
to
Hold a spell
Ray of
action.
Frost. Okay. What does that look like? Like you start making like.
Well, yeah, so as he comes out, he says, what is the meaning of this? And then I'll put my shield out, I'll pull down my little goggles over my eyes, flip the cloak back over my metal arm, my trunk pulls a wrench out of his side belt, and I extend my metal arm forward in anticipation, and the gear, like the wrench is just resting on a gear right now,
Okay.
in case anything happens. There's no actual, like, spell look yet.
Mhm.
He's just anticipating something bad happening.
Nice. Timon, you hear this noise. You see the couple of them going outside. What do you think?
And Kirana went upstairs.
She went upstairs to talk to Yap.
Oi, Kirana! There's a fight breaking out outside. It's probably because of your cart.
You shout that out.
Shut that out, and I make my way out of the door just to see what the fuck's going on.
Yep. You can put yourself probably like just outside, anywhere within like 3 or 4 squares
Nice.
of that.
There he is. Beast mode.
On top of something.
Nice. Just not
You just notice a bunch of just fighting happening in this middle. You notice one of the like 3 that are fighting down in like melee with like daggers and swords. One of them takes like a sharp gash across his duster coat,
Oh, no.
which is now bleeding. That's about it. Violence continues.
Bad things happen.
Calder.
So at this point, most people have made their way outside already. Is there any sign of Corona yet?
No, she's upstairs.
Okay. Well, I will. Yeah, I will just step outside and see what's going on. So at this point, I pretty much, I guess, just see the big one ready, and you're just out there right now. You haven't really done anything yet.
Yep.
Okay. I'll just.
You
step
can
in.
also see there's a dead body lying at the foot of the cart.
Right.
Could be like right here.
Yeah. Okay. Would I recognize... So, the person who's on the ground, the body, would I recognize that armor as
He
armor
looks
that
similarly
people...
attired to the people that questioned you at the entrance gate.
Right. So, it looks like it's probably a city guard.
That's what you would put two and two together.
Okay.
You're not that dumb.
Not that dumb.
I don't know. Are you that dumb?
I'm pretty smart.
Just one thing.
No.
Before the end of my turn, could I just move outwards a little bit more? Just take
I would
my-
say a lot of your movement was just getting up and like getting out there. So just for this round, you just can put yourself wherever you are, and then next round you can do what you want to do.
Cool.
So I'm gonna come just out over here, probably somewhere. And for right now, I'm just going to look to time and just say, "Does danger follow you everywhere?" And then, yeah, just.
Danger's not that
Alright. It's an epic piece. You notice one of the men who's fighting, like, he puts away a dagger, pulls out a crossbow off of his back. It's got like a band of razors like dangling from his fist. He just unloads it into the melee that's happening in the middle. Another one of the Duster code-wearing dudes gets like an arrow into his shoulder and like falls to one side. Fights are not going very well for them. Astra, you're left in the bar all alone. What are you doing?
I'm gonna follow out to see what's happening.
You go outside. You see a big melee that's happening to your left. You see all of your friends and compatriots and people from inside the bar just scattered around. You see a corpse lying at the foot of a wagon. All hell seems to be breaking loose. You can put yourself anywhere on the board within like a few spaces of the entrance door.
I'll just be like kind of. Besides the last one, I have to over here.
Arkman, what are you doing? You're now out here. You can see this combat happening with melee.
I guess I turn to Timon and be like, well, now might be better than never to demo my skill set. And
Nice. Those are good ending. You're right there. So, do you want to run in?
did you grab yourself?
No. I moved me and pointed to you.
This is
That's
you.
what I thought.
I gotta move myself because it's so damn big.
You're the elephant.
I guess I will make my way to one of the fellows there that's engaged with another enemy.
Yep. Are you
Sure.
trying to get near one of them with a duster coat or one of them with a razor lance? You can tell that they're two different gangs
Factions
just by
here.
looking at them.
Right.
Because duster coats are very obvious.
Wait, are you part of
Right now, it seems like the duster coats have taken more wounds.
Yeah.
And are in worse shape.
I think there's a part of me that wasn't a fan of the guy just sitting like with the crossbow. I saw he had the razor blades, so in that little hustle there, I'm gonna go after another guy with the razor blades on his arm.
Alright. Yep.
Which guy is that? Does it matter?
Which
It's
guy
It's
is
a
the
giant mass of people. It's hard to tell.
Okay.
I'll pick them off as I see fit.
Okay.
Roll to hit.
Oh boy.
Here we
First
go.
combat of the Chaoslands, episode 1. Season 1. The Alcove.
Oh, yeah. Do I have to
It's
call
a
out
list.
if it's a sneak attack?
It wouldn't be.
Oh, and even if they're engaged with someone else?
It has to be an ally.
Damn it.
The pains of going first in combat.
Yeah, can't even utilize that.
Just wait. You're friendly dwarf.
Yeah.
We'll join you soon.
Okay.
You also have a towering elephant right behind you.
Yeah, hurry up, guys. Okay. 20.
Nice.
Ooh!
Arkmir came to play.
Arkmir ain't no Vokon.
Yeah.
And
That was his other character, and he could never hit.
Ever.
Ever.
9 damage.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good first hit.
Came out
So
banging.
you pull out your rapier from beside you. You see an opening and just like stab in into this melee, trying to stab at one of the people with like the bracelet of razor blades around his wrist. It sinks in. He like jerks forward, winces a little, keeps standing and fighting.
So like Arkford kind of runs by, he attacks, and then gonna use cunning action
Ooh, nice.
to disengage here.
Yep.
And just kind of step back to the barrels again.
So just like over here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to be behind the barrels?
Yeah, slightly behind the barrels.
Just kind of like there?
Yep.
Cool.
Right. Big one.
That's me. Alright, I'm gonna try something because fuck it. It's episode 1. I'm gonna go here. And I'm going to cast Tasha's Caustic Brew.
What?
I don't even know what that is.
So it's a stream of acid emanates from you in a line 30 feet long and 5 feet wide in a direction you choose. Each creature in that line must succeed a dexterity save of 13 or be covered in acid for the spell's duration until the creature uses its action to either scrape or wash off the acid. A creature covered in acid takes 2d4 each the start of each of its turns. So I can hit.
Get ready to go fishing for some
I can
like,
hit all 5
acid
of these
markers.
Or if I go here, I saw.
Yeah, if you go there, you can hit.
I can hit all 5. So just this guy doesn't is not in it.
Damn.
Because I was there 5, 10, 15, 20,
Yep.
25.
So I'm gonna start
Yeah.
rolling from the one closest. I'll make dexterity saving throws. You tell me
That's
if they
my only
pass.
spell slot because we didn't get a long rest. So we'll see. Closest to me, you're going first?
Yes.
Okay.
10.
Fail.
Second one. 17.
Pass.
Third one. 21.
Pass.
Fourth one. 9.
Fail.
Fifth one. 19.
Pass. So two fail.
2 fell. There might not be any. We can just use like poison or something.
Yeah, you can just put poison.
I know there's poison in there.
Okay, the first one.
Acid?
Do I just roll
Oh,
once
there
for
is.
all of them?
just
Well, it's
roll
acid
once.
resist,
Okay,
but that works. Nobody has acid
2d4.
resist right now.
It's 7 damage to both of them, and they're covered in. Just do anything. We'll just mark
Which
them.
one's
Oh.
got? Which
Acid.
one's failed? Okay.
The first one.
The
and
first
then
one,
this
and then yeah. Also, don't
Oh,
they
there's
take the
actually
damage
acid.
at
There's
Well, it's
actually acid
resist,
one.
but
the. They
No,
take
the other
they
one's
take
acid.
damage
Oh,
at the
just gave
start
me-
of the rank turn, don't they?
How many more do you need?
That's it.
that was it. Just 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the start. So it'll take
Yep.
7 at the start of each of its turns.
Yeah. I will let you know.
I
Time
don't
is.
know, let go.
Also, what does that
And I'll
look
just-
like?
So yeah,
It's like
so
walk up.
so I'll just charge in. I hold out my arm. You'll see the wrench like dig into near where his elbow is. There's like you can see there's like kind of metal plates that go over the big portions of his arm. There's some wires and gears exposed. The wrench goes in, turns one. You'll see like a green energy start to form at the elbow, and it'll go down, and they'll shoot out from his hand.
That's
And
cool.
it'll just be like a greenish acid that just shoots in a 30-foot.
You see
line.
some of the, like a couple of them,
just
like
like,
are
"Say
able to
stop."
see it and like duck out of the way, but a few of them just get splattered with acid and it starts to burn away at their skin, their hair, their upper body. The smell and sound of sizzling flesh. Timon, what are you doing?
First Timon turns to Kautia and says, "Danger. Friend, this looks fun. Sounds just like the rat's ass back at home." And then he runs into the fray.
How far can you move?
30 feet, I'm pretty sure.
You can get to there, so you're not quite in range for melee.
And then as I pass through Arkmir, I said, "Why are you hiding?" So he is going to grab Thunder.
So close, dude.
Yep.
Not possible range, but you just pull out a fucking massive rifle.
And I am going to take a shot at the guy on like holding the crossbow, just like
Nice.
outside.
Yep.
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 Roll that.
That is a 15 to hit.
That hits.
Nice.
Nice. So they have AC of 15. I'm writing down.
Oh, yeah, sorry,
That's him to be
yeah.
the Travis of the.
Eight hit points. 8 damage. Sorry.
So this one's already like the acid's kind of burning him, and then you see him pull this tube off his back and fire it. And then Arkmir, for you, it's a strange sight. You've never seen anything like this. This loud like bang just goes out, almost like a noise of an explosion, and all of a sudden the bandit like crossbowman with like the razor blades around his hand, he just crumples to the ground and like he's bleeding from his chest. And the acid is mingling with it, it's burning and smoking it.
So, like, in 2 days, I've seen 2 variations of guns.
Yeah. Basically.
Yes.
And as he falls down to his knee or whatever, that was like,
Simon's a bit of a psychopath.
Yeah.
So it's the start of the bandit's turn, so they take the 7 acid damage.
7 acid damage.
This guy just crumples to the ground, sizzling and dies.
You did?
He did.
This guy's still standing. The rest of them, now seeing that there's strangeness happening, especially the ones with the razor blades around them, so there's this one and this one, kind of like turn around. He's like, you see one of them kind of weighing his options, and he shouts out, "Boss, we need a little help over here!"
Uh-oh.
And then he just continues to wail into the duster. This other duster with the acid wounds gets stabbed by the guy who shouted
dead.
out for help and falls to the ground dead. And now the only 2 remaining there are razors, essentially. This one razor fires at you because you spewed acid over his buddies.
Sure did.
That is a 21 to hit.
Yep.
You take 4 points of piercing damage as this crossbow bolt whizzes through the air and sinks into your shoulder, even through your hard elephantine skin.
Yep.
It hurts.
Oh.
What'd you get it for?
4.
Okay.
4.
Kalthir. What are you doing?
I will. How far away is Timon from me right now? Like 30 feet?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to cast Bless on
Oh shoot.
on myself, Astra, and Timon.
Thanks. Is it like a D4?
We're not there yet.
We get it.
what was Bless doing?
I'll cast it on myself.
You added
So I
D4
kinda-
to what?
Yeah, I kind of just closed my eyes for a second. I kind of like reach up and then like kind of just like look out like this, and like this like wispy light just kind of like just glosses over you guys, and now for well, pretty much until either I lose it or the next minute. Whenever you make an attack or a saving throw, you get to add a d4.
So it's already like
That's
fairly
also
dark,
nice.
and like it's this entire square is lit with just like street lights, almost like a pale yellowish light. But as he raises his hands, you see around the 3 of you, the light almost becomes more white, more like the paleness of moonlight, as opposed to the harsh yellow light of the street lights around you.
And then I'm going to just get a little bit closer over to the corner of the building here. Yeah, I'll just kind of hang out there for now, I think, and that is my turn.
Alright. You hear from the terrace up in the building up in front of you a loud whistling noise.
Oh no.
And then you hear footsteps that come running and charging through the archway under the building, straight towards you.
Oh, damn.
Holy shit.
What is this guy?
Oh.
This large, lumbering fellow
Oh.
with like almost like razor blades stuck into his arm.
Oh.
And he's carrying this
Damn.
big, heavy axe.
Oh.
The head of the axe is made of iron, and it
Ooh.
looks brand new.
Iron.
Iron.
He's got the iron. We know why they want the iron.
He rolls a 13 to hit.
Nope. Just put up my big ass shield.
This giant axe just like comes swinging down, wailing into your shield, which you just barely like knock it away from above you. Astra, it's your turn. What are you doing?
Oh boy.
He's like kind of sort of within 30 feet ish.
I can't see you.
I'm
Measure from there.
Comes
like
the AoE
5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
He's
30.
35 feet.
Come on.
You can move from the sides up.
No, she's stuck where she
I
is.
can only stay there.
Planted feet.
I'm gonna move here, and then I'm gonna cast Witch Bolt at this mofo.
Oh yeah.
So you have to roll the hit on that?
Do I, yes.
Yeah.
Do I add a D4
You
to
sure do.
roll to hit? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna do it.
That's a
after.
D4.
I'm gonna add. Okay.
Keep going.
Okay.
What's your pluses on it?
What did you roll?
Oh no.
Okay, so I rolled a 5,
No, you're
and
not
then
doing
I rolled a 1,
Yeah.
so that's
Okay.
6. But then I get a plus 5, so 11.
Evan misses. Just goes flying over this figure. You haven't really seen anything ever like this, and you just fire off your attack. And maybe it's just so much bigger than you that you just didn't expect it.
Maybe I'm still wearing your glasses.
Yeah.
Argument.
Make sure
You have single target attacks now,
Yeah.
which is huge.
Yeah.
Argument. It's your turn. What are you doing?
So that big fellow, he's right up there
He's hiding.
with big one, right?
How
Yeah.
big is he compared to me?
He's bigger than you.
Ooh, that's a big boy.
Oh,
and I mean, he is.
Damn.
So I'm going to run right up there again.
Do you want to go behind him?
Until I
Yeah,
raise
I'll-
it.
from behind. And I will now I will sneak attack.
Roll the hit.
Pretty cool.
20.
Oh.
That definitely hits.
Let's go.
There we go.
Nice.
Here we go. Big
Help me, Archman, help! Okay, in battle, I just get scared. My voice doesn't go as deep. Help me!
Okay, so that's 8, 8, 6, and then I have to roll a d6.
Let's go.
11 damage.
All right. All right. All right.
It's a big baddie. I'm just gonna say baddie.
And then I will use cunning action again.
Did you say 11?
11, yeah. Cunning action to disengage here and back up again.
Yep.
How
I won't be behind the barrels this time, but I'll be kind of beside time.
do you have enough
time.
movement to do all that?
10, 15, 20, 5, 10. How much do you have? 35?
30, just 30.
30? So, I mean,
whatever I can move back.
There's also an archway over here he came out of. Yeah.
Sure. Don't mind anything hiding there.
Alright.
I mean, I guess if you went here, you could have just moved back there. Doesn't really matter where you stand against the boss.
Big one.
What does that mean?
What are you doing?
I feel like he's probably pretty strong. So I'm going to turn around and you see the elephant trunk go to the other side of the arm and flip another gear, and like misty snow starts going down my arm, and I will attempt to cast Ray of Frost on him.
Ray of Frost is a ranged attack. You're in melee combat with him, so you'll have disadvantage on the roll.
Oh, Sue! That's true. Punch round? That's true.
Yeah. Good day.
Can you find a concentration one?
Didn't know I was. I guess he is.
For you?
Well, I asked though.
Oh, it's concentration for bless.
edges are so nice and crisp.
I know. They roll really nice too. I'm not a huge fan of the gold flecks in it,
I
but
will
they all have the gold
instead
flecks.
do.
Like the transition's really nice.
Mhm.
I mean, it's either disadvantage or strength check. I'm gonna actually do the lightning lure, which you've seen before, but it's a similar thing.
Yeah.
So you have to do a strength check.
Oh, it was really brutal last time I saw it.
Cut some of that.
Save and throw.
He's probably pretty strengthless.
It's an 8.
Okay, he's not that strong.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you'll see him turn a different gear than the one that I just mentioned. It may be a little bit lower, and then lightning streaks down from the top of his arm and shoots out but forms a leash, and I grab it and wrap around him and pull him in, but he's already there.
It's already out.
So he takes 1d8 of lightning damage.
Lightning.
That's 8.
What?
Plus nothing. So
Alright.
8 damage.
So this
I like me.
And he's-
like coil of lightning
yeah.
just twists around this figure and like pulls him even closer. He almost like tips forward a little before the
Yeah.
leash lets go. He's just got this burn mark across his chest where the lash grabbed him.
And there's just lightning going through his little goggles.
Timon.
Timing.
Nope.
I'm surprised that worked.
So Timon puts away
Yes.
Thunder and picks his shield. So he equips his shield, looks at the big boy that came into the fray, and runs straight at him.
I'm
And
wearing black.
it's like, oh, looks like we now have a good, fun party coming. And then he is going to,
I love it.
and then he's going to attack. Natural 1.
No way, really?
Let's go.
Yes.
roll.
Add a
damage.
D4.
Yeah.
That is.
That's for the
No.
book of it. 3.
3.
Nice.
That's like a 30 to hit.
That is
Pretty close.
29.
29 to
Damn. You
Does
plus
it
6?
hit?
Let's go, baby.
Yes, it hits.
He's very good with his hand
Alright,
block.
Cowering is concentration.
Okay.
Quad Hammers, so that's
We can
a
sort those
1.
out later.
Yeah.
You're
Also
just
bring the ones that I have. I have to remember to bring
Coward,
the
like,
rated lists and stuff as well. So.
8 plus 6. So that's 14.
Ooh, not bad.
Whoa,
Bam.
that's a million.
Let's
go.
So-
Considering
pretty
he rolled
hurt.
a 1 on one of the
Level
dice.
2.
Diamond grabs his hammer. He runs at the orc, or it looks like an orc,
He's something.
and then he lunges at him
Nice.
and hits straight in the chest.
Nice.
You think your hammer almost exactly where the like burn marks from the lightning lash is. And he just like shouts out with like this guttural pain, like. "Ah!" It's
my
now
turn.
the bandit's turn.
Oh boy. The banditos.
So now there's only this guy left who's a duster. He just books it.
Oh shit.
Fair.
The other two turn around. Let's just take these guys off the
Yep,
board.
they're deaded. I killed them with acid.
They done did.
You
No,
notice
we haven't.
a figure in the balcony.
I'm gonna talk to
yep.
Papa One. See if we can get a concentration.
Just
Put him
here.
there.
You're gonna break him before you actually get him in there.
He's in there.
You see this figure standing in the balcony with like
I
a
can't see
crossbow
him.
aimed down, and this one with his crossbow. They're both gonna fire at. One of them's gonna fire at Timon, and the other one's gonna fire at the big one.
Sure.
The one against Timon is a 14 to hit.
Misses.
The one against the big one is a 13 to hit.
Nope.
Shield
Brothers.
These two, this one's gonna run towards Arkmir.
Oh, hello.
This one's gonna run
Well done,
towards
friend.
Timon.
Oh no.
And they're both gonna stab. The one on Timon
Oh, I'm gonna
is
go
a 21 to hit.
Hits.
That is a.
You still have HP?
I
healed you last time.
2 damage.
Oh, big hit.
That tickles.
Take it easy.
The one against Arkmir is a 18 to hit.
Hits.
You take 4 points of piercing damage.
Alright.
Half had the health gone.
Hmm?
Half health gone.
Yeah, yeah. You were pretty close to dead last
The one up in the balcony
Yeah.
takes aim and like points his crossbow down at, let's say,
I thought he already shot.
did he?
Yeah, you
I
shot
thought I only
too.
rolled with. Oh,
There were
two
two
archers
archers.
and two
Yeah,
archers.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can shoot two.
Correct.
There
Yeah.
were two that
Correct.
tried, yeah.
Okay.
Like,
Nice
you need
try,
to-
Rifton.
It's not
And
his
a
fault,
guy
I
in
just
this
acid
window.
destroyed two of them.
There's a guy in another
guy in
window.
that
There's 1, 2, 3, 4,
There's a
5,
lot of
7
windows.
windows.
Do not fuck with the
Aw.
DM. Do not fuck
Like-
with the DM.
You need to
Calder.
update the
It's your
Twitch
turn.
stream.
My
health
turn?
Yes.
Or
Hmm?
the health on Twitch.
It does it auto.
That's cool.
It's connected to D&D Beyond. Yeah. Yeah.
Alrighty then.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna go over here.
Kathy.
So you see me kind of just sprint over that way. I take a moment and I slam my staff, or I'm going to say staff. I slam my staff into the ground, and you start to see like this kind of almost like black misty smoke looking thing kind of whirl around me. And as I slam the ground, it goes out in a huge sphere around me, 30-foot radius. I cast Twilight
is this
Sanctuary.
What'd you guess?
I cast Twilight Sanctuary.
What's that do?
What'd I do?
For the next minute, my allies within 30 feet radius of me, when you end your turn in that sphere, you gain 1d6 plus 2 temporary hit points, and you cannot be charmed or frightened.
Who is this dude?
It's
Ooh.
You just see this like pale black shadow almost like roil out from where he struck his staff, and it like clings towards you, and it's already night outside, but it seems even darker, and the harsh yellow light that I mentioned before, it's like you cannot feel it on you. Like you look down at your skin and there's no trace of yellow light on you anymore. It's just pale white moonlight.
That's so cool.
And then you took, who's taking the damage here? Like who looks at
I've taken 4.
I've taken 4.
But you guys didn't have a long rest. We had long rest, right?
No long rests.
Wait, you've only taken 4 as well right now?
Yep.
Okay, then
Half health.
then that is, I think, all I will do right now.
Alright.
That's my go. And because I end my turn there, inside my own sphere,
Yes.
I have 8 temporary hit points.
Nice.
Does he look like a vampire? Does he have fangs?
Just sucking your soul.
So you can see this big guy. He's looking kind of like upset and angry. And he turns towards you, Timon, and he just like grabs the axe with both hands and just like swings down at you with this heavy blow. He's attacking recklessly, so he has advantage on this. All future attacks against him have advantage against him too.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
But he just really wants to hit you.
Bring it.
Come on.
Okay, that should hit. That's the 23 to hit.
Early.
It's not a natural 20. Woo!
Oh shit.
Uh-oh.
Oh man,
I don't like that.
you're getting smacked. That's what's happening right now.
Alyssa, we need your
That's
spell.
My spell?
22 points of damage.
After this
Holy
attack, you're gonna be able to attack right.
Fuck,
You
okay.
standing? You're
Yeah.
standing, right?
I'm standing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barely. That
So I
brought you
can't
to your
heal
knee,
him.
though.
That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
she said.
Hold on, these didn't kill it.
22.
Oh, yeah.
So you
I
just
mean,
see
if I
him
can
take
roll,
this giant
not worth
axe
the
and just
shit.
like sink it into Timon, and almost like your
Oh,
chainmail
no.
almost like splits in a part where like the axe sinks into your shoulder.
Oh, boy.
He yanks it out. You are definitely bleeding. It definitely hurt you. But you can see an opening as he's just like still lumbering with the axe down. He's not able to defend himself as well. Astra.
Okay. So I'm gonna do Witch Bolt on the big guy. I have advantage because he's reckless. I have plus D4 because I'm blessed.
Yep.
I bet you still miss.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. Still,
fine.
still that hand of yours.
Okay.
Okay.
13 for the
Oh,
first
pro-
one.
probably,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Ah, that's better.
16.
Yeah.
16
There we go.
plus
plus your spell DC.
Yeah.
So it's-
plus.
No, plus that.
Just gotta do it
2.
all.
Does that
What
have
was it?
advantage
16 I
too?
said?
Yeah.
So
18.
18
No, just
plus
the
5, 22.
23.
That hits.
Yay!
I stopped paying attention after
This is
the
really
first
cool.
one.
Oh, Yay! Okay.
Just calculating all these things. You're like, it's fine. You hit.
Let me have my moment, okay?
Yeah. What does it look like?
Mess him up.
All right. So I'm gonna use my wand, and from the wand it's gonna be like a mixture of like blues and purple, kind of swirly, misty like colors, kind of all like space like, you know.
Yeah.
And
I shoot space from my wand.
Okay.
How much damage does that do?
All right. 1d12.
Ooh.
The epic music again.
Do I add my bless to this?
No.
No.
Okay.
Not to the damage, unfortunately.
Whoa!
Nice.
Nice.
Damn.
As your witch bolt connects, you see him kind of like lumbering and like trying to dig his axe up from the ground.
Uh-huh.
It connects and it just like slices through him, almost like going from one side of his chest through out the other. He crumples to the ground dead.
Does his
That's
head
44
fall off?
points.
Can his head is like
Oh, he's a half
No.
Head tips
ogre.
off.
separates?
Yeah, his head tips off.
Yes.
Dead.
Dig.
Arkmir, what are you doing?
I have this guy on me, don't I?
Yep, you got a guy right on your bum.
You need to roll your extra hit points.
Oh yeah.
You did end your turn. in
You
my
said 1d6 plus 2?
1d6 plus 2.
Okay.
Temporary.
But that doesn't
In the
count.
tray.
That's
that's
one.
that's on par for
Okay,
yeah, so
we're
you
back
three.
and we're back.
3 temp points.
It's a temp point.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm
What's
on the right
Alright,
side.
No, so it just tops up. Basically,
Yeah.
it won't increment.
It doesn't stack. Temp
Temporary
hit points
and
never
don't
stack. So whenever you receive temporary hit points, you either choose to keep the ones that you have or you replace it with the ones that you receive, but they don't stack. So you don't
It's
keep
still
getting
good.
more and more.
It's still
Yeah,
really
it's
good. Yeah.
every time you
It's
get
really
topped
good
up.
for somebody.
You
Well,
get topped
like
up
who's
every
gonna
time.
die or you.
I
like
want to talk to you
the-
afterwards
somebody
about
will-
this next time. We need to talk about
Wait
it.
a minute.
Yeah.
I'm gonna attack this gentleman
Get
who's
him.
engaged with me.
Yep.
Yep.
This man can hit.
23.
This man can hit.
Roll damage.
Lance
I'm
got
not
some
used
new
to
dice
this.
going
Yeah.
on over here.
Ooh. 11 damage.
Oh!
Damn, Daniel.
Dang, dude.
That's a lot of damage.
That's all the damage.
was my
It's
max
looking
damage.
really bad. And as you again, you unsheath your rapier, stab it into him. It leaves like a clean hole essentially in
Does
his
his
body.
head fall off?
Yeah.
You pull it out. He's like limping to one side. He's like barely standing, but he is still standing.
And then, again, I will use cunning action to disengage and move back.
Yep.
Where do you want to move to?
I will move back. Where are the other people here?
So
One,
there's
two,
one over here
three,
and there's one over
four
there.
up
And there's a
there.
guy up there, yeah.
Oh, and he has a crossbow too, doesn't
Yeah.
he? Okay. I'm gonna back up actually side you, Cal here.
So just like right there or like
Yeah, just right there.
okay. And you'll get the 10 hit points as well.
Yes, I'm rolling a
D6.
plus 2. 1. So
Plus two.
I don't think everybody rolls every time. I think it's like what I roll.
I think
and
it's
you
just
get
what
that.
you
So
roll.
technically everybody would have got max because
Yeah.
I rolled a 6.
Oh.
So I think you would get 8 and I think you get 8 as well.
we take what you roll.
Yeah, so I roll and then
At the start.
that's what everybody gets all the time.
Okay.
So I rolled 8, so you guys
That
get
works
8.
in my favor.
Well, you got it
so-
if you end your turn.
If you end your turn within 30
Yeah.
feet of me.
Should I change this to 8 then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Big one.
Yeah. Okay. So I just saw the ogre go
How'd you
down.
modify?
Can I see him, or is he like?
I
I
think,
can
yeah,
see him, but he
should
has
be.
like half cover.
Yeah. Okay.
think
So
so. Yours
I
looks so
think
different
I
now.
will just
It did shoot you, though.
He did.
Oh yeah, that's
turn
right.
to the guy that is currently
'Cause you,
behind.
like your max HP is
time in
on
there,
12.
and I'm going to cast
And then yeah.
Ray of. I'll cast Ray of Frost on him.
Yeah, you're not in melee, so you don't have disadvantage.
Yeah. That probably hits.
Yeah.
It's
Natural 17.
23 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
Okay.
Oh, Ray of Frost is a cantrip.
Yep.
I was trying to remember. If it
So
was.
I already explained it, but again, the wrench kind of does like he's very nimble for such a big and kind of sluggish guy. His trunk moves very fast and finds the right. Like he's very accustomed to this arm, and it is an arm of elements of sorts. That's a 1. Yep, that's a 1.
There's
One damage.
Nope.
plus
Alright.
2.
Sure not. But he is his speed is reduced by 10 feet.
All right. So you see this like this ray of
One.
cold energy kind of like hit him, and he's like freezes, like shivers a little bit, like the ice forms between his like
Need to take
arms
one.
and his chest. But he's fine. Timon,
So Timon is hit and bleeding,
you're like
and
panting heavily a little bit.
and he probably takes a fraction of a second to think at himself to say, "Whew. So this is how Denex works. His ways are strange." So he uses his second wind to recover a little bit. So I can do
It's a fighter thing. They can like self-heal.
so I get 6 points.
Nice.
Nice.
So I guess I get the 8 hit points, right?
Yes.
6 points healed.
Already.
So that's my bonus action. And then Timon is going to turn around 6 o'clock.
Like Kylo Ren punching his bloody wounds, just like
Only with like a hammer on his arm. And then he strikes the motherfucker. Only to miss. Yeah, no, this is not going to. 12.
Okay. That barely hits.
Oh, yeah.
Hashtag
bless.
bless.
God bless life.
Roll your
Have a
damage.
blessed life. I love it. Yeah, oops. That didn't count. So it's 10 points of damage.
Ooh.
Damn. So you like turn around and just like uppercut with your hammer. He looks
I
bad.
really like people's heads popping
Yes.
off.
he looks bad. He looks
Maybe like
bad.
one of those boxing toys.
Yeah.
At the end of your turn, you gain your temporary HP,
Oh, yeah.
and it's now the bandit's turns. So
He
This
nearly
one-
had Nimbus.
sees the weird, strange shadows coming out from the spooky pale elf, and like I'm just gonna roll for him to see if he gets scared of you. He definitely does. He's not gonna go that way. He instead turns around and tries to go for the person farthest away from you, which is the big elephant. That one's already in combat.
Hello.
This one is going to try and shoot at Calclear, as is the one up there.
The double shottage.
Bring it.
Both of the ranged crossbow guys are going to shoot at Calclear.
Yep.
Why? We haven't done anything to them.
We
yet.
didn't even get to have our meal.
Yeah, you're supposed to wine dine me
I
here.
was supposed to buy you a meal.
So
Well, we did walk through.
That
Ward
is
4.
a 17 to hit and a 12 to hit.
The 17 hits.
Alright. You take
22 points.
3
He
points of
also
piercing
has
damage.
a giant iron axe.
And the one on the big one, that is a 17 to hit.
Sure does.
Takes 7 points of slashing damage.
Oh, there goes most of my 10 hit points.
The one on Timon, that's a 3 to hit. Definitely misses.
This guy's a raging psycho.
And hit him, but he didn't care.
Yeah.
He was like, just stop.
Calclear, it's your turn.
I will. I'm going to go right here, and I'm just going to place my hand on your shoulder and just say, "Keep fighting, friend." And I'm going to cast Cure Wounds. Come on. 5.
Better
I
than nothing.
love it.
Your wounds kind of stitch closed and glow.
Yeah,
A little bit.
the big gash on my shoulder is slightly.
And I go back up to 8.
And it's strange, just like they glow, but there's also like a sense of shadow and like darkness to the magic. Like the shadow stitches them together, and then as they heal, they like flare up a little bit.
Yep.
And back up to 8, 10 hit points.
Astra,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what are you doing?
I'm gonna cast Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch
Blaze.
There's only 2 guys left, right?
Eldritch Blast.
Well,
There's
there's
4.
Oh,
four
okay.
technically.
Four.
There's one in
I
the
don't see those, so
balcony.
they don't Yeah.
They're not real if I
They're
can't
not
see
real
them.
people.
Maybe I'll go for the one in the belt.
He does have half cover.
The one on the balcony is kind of ducking behind the thing. You
So
kind of
He's
over-
harder to
harder to
hit.
hit?
He's harder to
Okay.
hit.
I do have a good range, so maybe I'll go for the far guy.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Fuck him up.
Eldritch Blast.
Alright.
Do I still? And you're
Blast.
still concentrating, so I still have
You
my.
still get
As
blazed.
soon as we kill the others, that fucker's gonna run.
Did you roll when he hit you for concentration?
No, I did not. You hit me for like 3, right? Or something
Yeah,
like
it'll
that?
just be the 10. The
Uh,
DC 10 check.
And it's a con check?
Okay,
Yep.
it's okay.
You should
Is
save
it
it.
though?
Got
Yeah,
it,
save.
got it.
Yeah. Maybe. I think so.
14.
That hits.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're good, you're
You hit
good.
for 12. It's the
You're
same.
good. I just need to always
Yeah, but I didn't
bless
remember
you.
that.
So that you always have an okay trick too.
Melissa forgets 10 minutes ago.
That blast is
Hey,
so
she didn't see it, so it's not real.
It's true.
Okay, 1d10. 1d10. Where's my 10? This one.
That's a 12.
No.
That's a 12.
Is that one?
That's an
Okay.
8.
No, that's
No,
That's a 10.
that's a 10.
Nice try.
Almost got it.
I don't add anything to this. Okay. Okay.
I'm just pointing up.
Two.
Roll.
I'm not gonna roll a 1.
I'm pointing
Stop
up.
preemptively
I'm
saying
pointing
it's a
up.
1. 8.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
Do you plus something?
Blast.
No.
See, now if I just
No.
like screw with you.
What does your
It's
Eldritch
good.
Blast look like? Does it look any different from your Witch Bolt? What does it?
I forget what I said in the pre-session.
One of them look like nebula.
I think
something, right?
I may have them backwards, but yeah, that
So
was
the one that goes like this, like a spire, is the
Yeah,
Eldritch
that's Witch
Blast.
Bolt.
The Witch Bolt was like a mist.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, your Eldritch Blast is the one you're. Yeah, the Witch Bolt.
So I guess
Okay, I already
the Eldritch
described
Bolt looks like
no, wait.
like a.
Okay, I already described the Witch Bolt. So the
Yes.
Eldritch Blast, that is definitely the nebula.
Yeah.
Totally.
Which,
Yeah.
which.
Okay.
So I don't know.
You can just
man.
make it up.
Here's-
Yeah, make up a
okay,
new one.
That's what I'm doing. No, okay, okay. So here's the thing. I'm gonna paint you a little picture.
Alright.
Okay.
It looks like a nebula.
Beautiful. Amazing.
Okay.
Nice.
That picture was painted.
It sinks into the shoulder of this guy who's holding a crossbow, and he like limps a little bit. They're all looking kind of badly hurt, but
They're pretty.
Which one did
they're
you
still
shoot?
standing.
The far guy. Yeah.
Arkmir, it's your turn.
Arkmia.
Sorry, I gotta see where everyone is again.
So 2 here, 1 here, 1 up in Little Crow's Nest.
Okay.
There's a little staircase going up there.
Yes.
I'll run up to the one engaged with Timon. And sneak attack. Well, I guess I will hit first. 10.
You ain't blessed.
That
No,
doesn't-
that one ain't happening.
We haven't earned it yet.
Yeah.
Nope.
Nah, that doesn't hit. You're just like trying to flank him, and maybe like Timon hits him just as like you're coming around. And he just like moves away from where you're trying to stab, and it just missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll stay there for this one.
Oh. You go back up to 8 if you took any damage.
Big one.
No.
That's me.
That is you.
I'm
Like
gonna
in
cast
10
lightning
health.
lure on the guy
Yeah,
right
yeah,
in front
Not
of him.
regular. Yeah.
Right.
Strength.
So strength saving throw from him.
Strength.
That's a natural 1, so he fails that.
Okay. That's nice. Come on, not a 1.
You kill him.
Okay.
He had 1 health.
Unless you rolled a 1.
I rolled a 5.
Okay. I'm pretty sure you kill him.
Okay. It's the same thing, just like the lightning goes down his arm and he catches it, and the lightning rips around and just.
Yep. As it grips around, it just like burns through his skin, through to his
Oh,
bone, and just
savage.
like completely,
Ah, yeah.
Big one
completely
scares me.
shocks him to death.
His
Timon,
head falls off.
what are you doing?
Every one of them. All their heads.
Fun.
Timon is going to blindly beat the shit.
Oh, I guess I gained those points back.
Like
You
too?
go back up to 8 if you took any.
That's nice. That's a good spell.
Roll it.
He's going
It's
to
not a
hit
spell.
the shit out of the guy in front of
It's
him.
a nice whatever your creature is thing.
That's
Should
it's but
For how much? Does it
20 to hit.
Definitely hits.
It misses.
And then damage. 14 damage.
Damn.
Alright. That guy also crumples to the ground
Yeah.
with your hammer just like bashing his skull in, and it's just like.
What's
caves
that
in.
like it's like a gopher game where you're just like ding, ding,
Whack-a-mole?
ding, ding. Yeah, whack-a-mole, that's what it is. That's what you're doing right now.
Those are your hammers?
Yeah.
And then as the guy falls, I guess Diamond just looks at the guy in the distance holding the crossbow and runs at him.
All right.
Yeah.
Move yourself.
You should be able to get there.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can run 6.
Yeah.
You did
Squares,
it wrong.
right?
No, you were beside it.
No.
Oh no, you were one away from me.
Yeah,
Never
yeah.
mind. No,
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. Yep.
And then at the end of that, he's going to take an action surge to reload his weapon.
Ooh, nice.
So
It is now the bandits' turn, and they turn and book it.
I knew it.
Of course, one goes way off
have
here,
guns.
about 60 feet away.
What about
That
this
one
guy?
jumps off and slinks off. You don't even see where he goes.
Behind the building
Jumps off
somewhere.
the building and
Yeah.
slinks off.
He's stuck in there forever.
Did any of the dusters get taken down, or is it just
All but
yeah,
one.
all 3 of them.
Yeah.
okay?
There were 3
one got
dusters and 3
one.
razor blades.
And one booked it.
The one book that
The one in there was also a razor blade, and the big guy also has like razor blades almost embedded in his skin. Essentially. Right. Well, if anybody wants to try and take pot shots at this guy,
Yeah.
he's 60 plus 20 feet, so 80 feet away from you.
I'm taking a shot as well. I reloaded my weapon. Just
Yeah.
because-
You go.
ahead.
Yeah.
Anything with like an
No,
80
you go
foot
first.
plus range, you can try and shoot at him.
But I think I shoot at a disadvantage, probably.
He's running. He's currently
he's
still running in a
just
straight
in
line,
range.
but after a bit, he is going to turn off into an alleyway.
Mhm.
So you get like one round of basically shooting at him.
I don't hit.
How far
I
away
want
are
to
they?
shoot at him to try
He's
to
about
take
80
his
feet
head
away
off.
from thing.
What?
He's like
From
60 feet
big
away
one.
from where he was.
From big
Oh,
one.
okay, okay.
So however far away you are from that, you can get good at that.
Are we still in initiative?
We
Just
are.
everybody just gets one more turn,
Okay.
essentially.
Do I still have less?
Yeah.
Okay, you would have to move to see him.
No.
I mean, there's a giant cart in
Oh.
your eye.
Oh, but I can see what
He's
we're
like
talking
over
about.
here behind the house.
You can move around the cart.
I can move around the cart. Are you trying to hit him too?
Yeah.
Okay.
You go
You
first.
go
though.
first.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll try
okay.
you go for it.
I'm going right for the neck. I want to take off the head. That's a 19.
That hits.
This is when I really. Wait, I still have my bless. Plus 1.
That hits.
Okay.
It's nice round 20.
19
Yeah.
also hit.
Okay. 7. I'm going for the neck.
Can't call.
I was going to ask how you killed him, but instead you just
I'm
your
just going
Elder
for the
Blast just
neck.
goes straight for the from the back of the neck forward,
Psychopath.
And then
and he just
I got a lot
plumps
of
to the
psychopaths.
ground, and his head lopping off to one side, the rest of his body to another.
Ooh, wait, can I make it so that it's partially still attached though? So it's like nearly headless Nick, you know?
Sure, why not?
Thanks,
He's
Rick.
dead.
So I guess Diamond was readying himself to shoot,
Sorry.
and this.
She stole your
I suppose
thunder?
this nebula comes flying over his shoulder and then just plop.
You can still take his head full off though. It's just hanging by a thread.
He's dead. He's on the ground.
He's
And,
dead.
But you can still take the head off if you want.
It's okay. I would have a disadvantage
Save the bullet.
because he's down.
I'm gonna go check the guard.
It's at this point that Karana also runs out of the building.
Oh,
And
thanks
we
for
have
the
made her
help.
way
Oh,
down
yeah.
the
Oh.
stairs.
Oh my goodness.
It's like,
Oh,
what the
what's
fuck
there?
is going on?
And then Timon tries to see if there's anybody running in sight. Like anyone?
Make a perception check.
Sure. That is 17.
You don't notice anybody running. You do notice a figure on this rooftop. Just like crouching on the rooftop, just looking down.
Assassin's Creed.
Okay. So I look straight at him. And then
You
I
can't
also,
really make out what or who, like a gender or anything. It's like in a crouched pose. You can't tell. They're looking down at you, and then just turn and disappear into the darkness.
That's right, you run, you shits!
There's nobody else around. There's the dead body of a guard, and as Karana like turns around and sees it, well, hell.
So the body, like, they're dead? Like, I was going over to check. They're completely dead?
Okay. There's like a stab wound through a chink in their armor.
Okay.
I want to go up to Big Ogre Man and grab the axe out of his hand with my trunk and inspect it.
Yep.
And his bodies.
Yeah.
Actually, no. No, just the axe. Just the axe. Yeah. Notice that it's iron.
Iron.
Yeah.
You notice that the axe is very finely crafted.
Yeah.
And it's new. Made of a heavy iron, and it feels even heavier than like most of these axes that you like really held before. Are you proficient? You're proficient with smith's tools,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Oh, not yet.
Okay.
I'm Mason, Thieves, and Tinkers.
Okay. Yeah, like you can tell that this is really finely crafted, well built, but you don't know anything else about it.
Okay.
Like
Does it? Sorry. Oh, I was just saying. Does it look like the iron either on the cart or the rod thing he has?
Looks like iron.
Okay. So I will. Yeah, I'll just.
Wait, big one, let me see that.
I'll just look at you and toss it with my trunk
Yep.
towards you.
So I inspect the weapon.
Yep. You take a look at it. It seems very well made, made of iron. With your like blacksmithing proficiencies, you can tell that this was made fairly recently. The steel in it is very like well tempered, but like it shows signs of it being very newly built.
Is there a signature of some kind on the weapon?
There's a signature stroke that you can kind of tell of like how this blade was hammered. You would recognize it if you saw somebody using it. You don't know anybody in the city,
Right.
so you can't really like link it to someone. But you gather that if you saw somebody like some other pieces that like it, you would be able to identify if it was made by the same blacksmith.
Here, grab it. I'll put it back to you.
How dark is it out?
Pretty dark.
Alright.
It's night now. It's about like 9-10 p.m.
You
roughly.
see,
9 p.m.
you see the big one pull out like it's just a little metal ball sphere thing, and he'll turn a little gear in his wrench, and just like a little light colored, like yellow light source goes on it, and the orb will emanate light in a radius around me.
Yep.
That's magical, Tinker.
Ooh.
And then I'll just look at Arkmir and said, I want that mule, and I'll just start heading towards the tavern away. Very, very tired. It's been a very long day. two fights.
Karana is kind of over. You were also investigating the corpse of the cog guard. Yeah, I mean he seems dead. Is there anything like specific you're looking for?
No.
or-
I wanted to just see if he was just unconscious or if he was actually dead. But if he's actually dead, then I'll just let Krana know.
She's kind of like kneeling over the body and she's like, well, fuck. Do we stay here? She like turns towards you because you're the first person who's like standing there. But
Fine.
what?
I'm unfamiliar with this place. I don't know. Is iron? Is this an outlawed metal here? Like why?
Seems like it. But there's a dead guard. They're gonna think that we did it. They're definitely gonna come and. Oh God. She just like puts her hands in her face.
Get out. Do you
Her
know
face in
another
her
inn?
hands.
Another place in the city?
Yeah, but wherever we go, it's gonna be like they know here that we're like where we're. She's like flustered. Like she's like kind of panicking in a way that you haven't really seen her. You've seen her be pretty stoic and like reliable for like the past couple of weeks. She's not the same right now.
We have 5 witnesses here who can attest to what happened. I don't think you have anything to worry about.
Yeah, but if they come and they inspect us, they're definitely going to take the cart. We need to get out of here. I understand that if you all want to stay here, there's nothing holding you to us, but I think it makes sense for me and the rest. Yeah, no, I don't know where Nipner is. He ran off, probably to go drink first chance he got. I think at this point Lydia has come out of the tavern and she's like looking over. Looks like there's you're bringing some trouble over to my establishment. And Karana looks back and says, "Yeah, we're sorry. I know there's too much to ask, but you must know somewhere where we can go and hide out, somewhere out of reach of the cog." And Lydia turns and says, "Well, if you're in trouble already, might as well. Just keep heading southeast." She points to one of the spires off in the distance to the southeast. That one's new. Ward 8. Cogs won't go there. And I think on that note, we'll end our session.
Oh, come on.
Oh no.
It's 11.
Oh, we never came back to me.
Just super quick. Can I steal like the razor blade thing that was on?
Well,
there?
that's actually, yeah. Arthur's
that what
going to
you're
do the
gonna
same
do?
thing.
Yeah,
I was going to say that
yeah,
before
yeah.
thought we were going to come back to us.
Yep.
But yeah, with Arkmir, he just approaches the corpses of both the dusters, we're calling them. and
There's 3
razor.
dusters and 2 razor blades that you
Right.
can see.
So just
like,
from a
they're
single
dead.
corpse each, he just wants to grab off the components that he sees as discernible for someone who's affiliated with the razor. and
Yep.
That's
someone affiliated with
exactly
the
what I was
dusters.
gonna do. So you just do it.
Oh, okay.
So you gather the 2 like bracelets with razor blades embedded into them,
Right.
and you get 3 duster coats, but 2 of them are like bloodstained, and like actually all of them are like pretty bloodstained, and like you probably need to like clean them or look like you took them from a dead body. Because like the bracelets are easy enough; they're small and like not like they probably didn't get damaged that much, but the duster coats soaked up a lot of blood.
Right.
You can just write down like blood-soaked coats.
Diamond walks over to the half hugger and kicks him.
I just
want a meal.
Dead body just like
I want to
sideways.
sleep and I want a meal. I want my dad.
Oh, so sad.
So next time we'll figure out if you all are staying here or going with them
Oh,
into
boy.
to Ward 8.
Right in the thick of
we'll
things
figure
already.
out what you're doing tomorrow and tomorrow morning, and we'll pick up from there.
Hey, great first
We'll
session.
play next week.
I did it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh man, Ward 8, big mistake. It's the next episode.
Oh yeah, what was the other thing they said? Ward 8, big mistake, and
No more rolling blackouts or no more blackouts.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
They didn't want any more blackouts. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh man.
Well, until next time. That was good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Until next
That was
time.
fun.
See you next time in the alcove.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching.
Bye.